Okay, we are live. Uh, okay. All right. We're live. I'm going to wait for some people to come on. There's something important I need to talk about tonight. Oh, do I? Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Corey, good to see you, brother. Hey, Corey, what's your favorite hockey team? Tell me, bro. I need to know. Cece, good to see you. Um, Good to see you guys tonight. You know, I got something on my mind, something I really need to tackle, some issue I really need to talk about. And if you see my title, um, you know, hey Deanna, good to see you. Uh, anyway, good to see you guys. All that's come on. Uh, it's always a blessing to be here live with you guys. It's always a blessing to see you guys come on. You guys lift me up. Uh, A- Ava Turner. I hope I didn't mispronounce your. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. I apologize if I did. But good to see you. Blessing to see you. Um, I've been following the YouTube streets out there, and I've been looking at some stuff, and oh my God, some of this stuff I just look at it and I'm like, some of it I just whatever. People think what they think. People believe what they do. Uh, Moonchild, good to see you. Uh, people have their own opinion on things. People believe what they want to believe, right? And they do. And but this one video got me, and I was just like, "Oh my God, hold the phone, hold the phone." And I'm not going to mention no names. I'm not going to go on a attack campaign here. Um, but something I felt has to be addressed. Okay, and here's my thing. Okay, I'm in an interracial marriage, right? Have been for several years, and I've dated interracially for since the early '80s, right? I'm an old guy, you know, and I chose my path, and I've been blessed so much by it. I believe black women are the best option. Believe black women are the most beautiful women on earth. I believe that. And if you look at my wife, if you look at the decisions I made in my life, you'd say, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you're doing what you're saying. Yes, and I do. And I don't go in on anybody with that has their preference or anybody that chooses their way, whether they choose to be within their own race or whether they choose to be with another race. I don't care. I support it. Uh, whether it's white men with black women or Asian women or black guys with white women, I support that too. Hey, I raised the roof for that. I totally support that. I get it because us as individuals, us as people should be able to make our own choices in life, right? We should be able to be with who we want to be with, regardless of whether they look like us or not. Okay. And I totally support that. Okay. I do. And if you want to stay with your own group, I support that too. I support good relationships. I support good, solid marriages, regardless of who it is. Totally. Right? Good people coming together, good people getting married, good people raising kids, good people running society, men and women coming together like God would have us do, and just uplifting our communities, our towns, our cities, our nation, right? I'm all for it. Unfortunately, not all of us are living up to that. Just saying. Okay. So I always, push forward the message. I always say date out, open up your options, right? And I'm not saying, leave your racial group just to do it. I'm just saying look for that special person. Look for that person that will compliment you, that person that will love you, that person that will be the best fit for you, period, end of story, right? That's what I want. I don't care about the racial dynamics or whatever. Okay? I've chosen my path. I believe black women is the best choice. I believe black women is first class. And that's what I believe. That don't mean I hate any other woman, and another man might think different from me, and that's totally perfect. That's totally okay. I uplift that too, because us as individuals should be able to have the freedom to choose our path, have the freedom to love who we love. I believe that, and I live up to that. You know, and for me not to support other groups of men or other women that decide to go different past different racial groups, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't support that. And I most certainly do. And I have no problems with that. You know, okay, so putting that all aside, and I want to make this disclaimer before I go in on this, okay? I believe that every man of every race, every woman of every race are equal under God. I believe no man or woman is above any other man or woman, regardless of race, creed, regardless of where they're from, or anything. Okay? I believe God loves us all, regardless. Okay? I'm going to make that disclaimer. Okay? One is not better than the other, but one's character is better than the other. Okay? One man's or woman's choice is better than the other. Okay? And the results will bring forth, you know, their prosperity or their failure. That's what you call choices in life. Okay? I'm just going to say that. Okay? What happened? Don't worry. Nothing really happened. I'm just surfing the YouTube streets, okay? I'm a small YouTuber and I live in my small little beat up trailer park, but I tell you what, I'm watching. And I have some opinions, and I'm not going to attack no certain individual, but I have a problem here. Okay. All right. Now, first, okay, when it comes to interracial relationships, marriage, dating, whatever, okay, and I'm going to address this when it comes to what's going on in our society, right? Okay, we're not segregated anymore. Um, we're dating outside our race. We're marrying outside our race. Uh, we're doing this, right? Men and women of all races. Okay, the racial, the interracial relationship, the interracial marriage has increased from 1967 from 3% to 19%. Okay, just think about that, right? And our population's grown, so it's expanding big time. 1 out of every 6 individuals in America will marry interracially. Okay. And that's all races. It could be black, white, Hispanic, Asian. We're all doing it, right? It's increasing every day. Okay. And I think that's a good thing. All right. All right. So I was sitting at work one day, and when I'm at work, I'm doing my job. I can't watch videos, but I can put my earpiece in and I can listen to YouTube, and which I do all the time because number one, I want to see what's going on. I want to see people's opinion, right? And I want to see where everybody comes from. And another thing, I want to learn how to do this better every day. Okay. So I'll listen. And two is for entertainment too. Just see where everybody's come from. Okay. I had this one YouTuber that was talking. And I'm not going to say no name. I'm not going in on nobody tonight. Okay. Um, but this person made a racial comparison. Okay, when it comes to interracial relationships. And this person was trying to discourage the divestment movement. okay, and interracial relationships. Okay. Divestment, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest about divestment, right? I thought I knew what it meant, but every time I talk to someone, I really don't know. Okay. I thought it was just like a movement that, you know, a group of women is moving out of their community and going into different communities and having relationships with different groups of men, whether it be white, Hispanic, or Asian. That's what I thought it was, right? Apparently, it's not what it is. I've heard, and I'm not going to even say what I think it is because I really don't know. I don't know. Okay. Regardless, that's beside the point. If you want to marry, date, or have any relationship with any man or woman, regardless of your racial group, you should have every right to do so. And I support that. Okay. I'll make that clear. Okay. But this person was going in on, the divestment movement or whatever. Okay. And they pulled out some stats, which were totally true, which made total sense, which actually you can't dispute the truth in it. Okay. But here's a problem I have with it. Okay. This person went in and said, okay, when you look at a certain group of people, she didn't say, or he didn't say, I don't want to even that it's a certain group of people, which is the majority of our country, right? Okay, I'm gonna play that game. Keep it monetized. Don't list a certain group. Okay, I'm gonna play that game too. Okay, but this is the majority of our country. Get this. Okay, this group has the most serial killers. Okay, interesting. This group has the most domestic violences. Interesting, right? Okay, that is so true. You can't dispute it. It is fact. Okay, but here's the problem I have. Okay, number one, this group is the majority of people in America. Okay, and I'm going to tell you the stats. Okay, when it comes to the majority group, this group, according to the 2020 census in America, has 192 million people. Okay, think about this. Okay, the other group that this person's talk about has 41 million. Okay, so this group that's the majority has 179 million people more. So does it make sense that they would have the most serial killers? Does that mean they would have the most domestic violence? Most certainly. It's truth. But and this group would have the most welfare. Truth. Okay. This group would have all these things, right? But also, this group would have the most millionaires. This group would have the most church growing people. This group would have the most successful people in America. And the reason I say this is listen, okay, when you're the majority, you're going to have more in the bad column, more in the good column, right? Makes sense, right? But this person chose to choose the negative. Most serial killers, most domestic violences. And this person was trying to tell women, do not divest, do not go outside your race, because this other group is so horrible and toxic and just evil that you need to stay in your own, right? Okay, here's my problem with that. All the stats she said was correct, or he said, okay? But my problem with it is what's the population dynamic, okay? And if there's 179 million more people in this group, of course they're going to have more people that are doing horrible things. Of course they're going to have more people that are doing bad things. But they're going to have more people that are doing good things too, right? So here's my thing. If you're going to roll out stats, go all the way, you know. And, this group might have this problem, But when you do it in percentages according to the population, you might get a different result, right? I've heard people talk about welfare, for instance, okay? And I'm not going in on any group, but white people are the most common group to be on welfare, right? But we're the biggest population. But if you break it down percentages, when it comes to percentages, that group is the least likely to be on that program. And I'm not going in on anybody. I'm not saying one group's better than the other. So don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to make a point. Because the numbers, because you have more, but you have a bigger population of this group. Okay. When you go per capita, that gives you more of a picture. Okay. And I'm not saying that any group of people are better than the other. I'm not going there. I'm not. I'm not defending white people for all the evil they've done. I'm not. I really not. Okay. I don't think any one group of men and women are better than the other. I surely don't. That's not where I'm going with this. My point is you need to go for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Not just the majority of numbers, but you need to go with the count and the population. Okay, you need to go per capita to get more of a better understanding. Okay, that's my point. That's the problem I had with this. Not that, I mean, everything that was said was true, but you can put truth out there, but when you hold it back and you only put the truth to fit your narrative and you stop. Oh, thank Mocha Mommy. Thank you for that $5 thing. I totally appreciate it. But what I'm saying is, when you go in there, I mean, you could have a truth, but when you don't do the whole truth, people don't get, you know, what's really going on. Okay. And that's my problem with that. Okay. Now, my thing is, okay, when it comes to people, and I believe this, when it comes to men and women, you choose your best option, point blank, and don't worry about what your community, what your ethnic or racial group thinks. You go what's best for you, and that's what I did. Okay, I believe black women are the best option, hands down, and stats prove it. Society proves it. And if you dig deep, you will see the truth. Okay. But the media will not tell you that. Okay. And other stats that people put are bogus because they don't search the whole truth. They don't go all in. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that my group is better than anybody. There's most certainly not. There's a whole lot of evil, disgusting things that my group has done. I get it. Okay. But when you're going put in, a recommendation to a certain group of women to tell them that they need to stay away from this group, you better give them the whole truth. Okay. I believe that. Or a group of men too. And I'm telling you this, and this is what really gets me upset because number one, okay, us as men and women, I don't care what racial group you're from, we're attracted to each other. I don't care if it's a white man looking at a black woman, Asian woman, anything. He will be attracted to her if she's attractive. And same thing with women to men. Okay? We're just wired that way. Okay? Now, if you want to go outside your racial group, you should be most definitely should be able to. Okay? All right? And I support anybody doing this. But don't put out some false crap statistics. Okay? It might be truth, but when you get this group has more of this horrible stuff, but the group is much bigger, does that really give you the truth? No, it doesn't. And I don't care if you have 1 million followers. I don't care if you're some Instagram model that wears makeup and shows your body. I don't give a dang. You're putting forth lies. Period. In the story. Put the whole truth. Okay? And I'm not saying one group is better than the other, because you can't say that. You know, what puts together a good marriage is two people with good character. Two people that, you know, want to make the relationship grow. Two people that want to make it happen. Two people that are strong enough to live through whatever is faced on them. That's what develops a true relationship. Okay? And I'm telling you, you know what? Everybody open up your options. Do it. I'm all for it. And you know what? And all those haters out there that will that will only tell you the half truth, that will only tell you the truth only that fits their narrative and goes no further, don't listen to them. Find out for yourself. Find out the truth. Because I'm telling you, you know, I've done some stats. Okay? And I'm not going in on anybody, but I gotta put the truth out there. Okay? Now, this group of people has the most serial killers, most domestic violence, most horrible stuff. I get it. But this group is 57.8% of the population, according to 2020 census, right? Well, it's 2022, but not much has changed in 2 years. All right, 57.8%, right? Of course, they're going to have the most criminals. Of course, they're going to have the most serial killers. Of course, they're going to have the most horrible people, right? Because they're the biggest population. But they're also going to have the best that society has to offer, because they're the biggest group. Seriously. 57.8% is the white population in America, according to the 2020 census, right? Okay, now Hispanic and Latino is 18.7%. Okay. Now the Black African American population is 12.1%. Okay. Now, if you Google, like this person said, and says, look at the serial killers and look what they look like, and guess what? What is the majority of the people? And this person's totally right, but if part of the population is 57.8 and the other population is 12.1, guess what? Guess what you're going to see more of? The bigger population, right? That's a skewed statistic. Okay? You got to dig deep in the whole truth, not just half the truth. Okay? And I'm not defending white people, don't get me wrong. I mean, people are people. We're all God's children, point blank. And you know, we should all be loved and we should all have respect for each other. Okay? I'm just trying to discredit this point this person made, because this person didn't dig in deep enough in the whole truth. Okay? That's where I have a problem with. Okay? Now, I always say people should open up their options. Okay? If you want to marry someone of another race, you should have every opportunity to. You should be blessed in your option. Okay? Now let me put some stats out there. Okay? I've been looking at stats today. Okay, when it comes to marriage, okay, get this. All right. 67% of white women between the ages of 25 and 50 will get married. 67%, right? Of white women between 25 and 50. Okay. Now, when you look at black women, it's 34% between the ages of 25 and 50. Okay. Keep that in mind. Okay. So white women are getting married more often than black women. You know, more than double, right? Or almost double, right? Okay. And also these stats, and I've seen many groups say this, and I've looked it up. 1 out of 4 black women will get married in their community, right? And percentages are from 25 to 30% of black women will get married in their community. And that's saying with black men. Now, okay. Now, is that saying that only 1 out of 4 black women want to get married? No. Okay. I'm going to tell you why this is offsetting. Black men will marry and date outside their race 2 to 3 times what black women do. Okay. Number one. Okay. So black men, only 1 out of 4 ain't getting married. That's skewed. But they date and marry out 2 to 3 times what black women do. Okay. All right. So that creates an imbalance. That's number one. Number two, there are more women than men in the black community, white community, across the board, really. So that even lopsides it even more. Okay. So if you're going to be race loyal and only marry within your race, and you have every right to do so, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not attacking that. But statistically, 1 out of 4 are going to get married. So that means unless you're very beautiful, you're a supermodel, and you meet all these standards to get a high profile man or a high value man, you might end up not getting married at all. Okay. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but just going by the numbers. So why wouldn't you open up your options? Okay. And okay, sorry guys, I kicked myself out of the studio. But what I'm saying is 1 out of 4 black women get married, right? And it's 25 to 30%. That's not good. 70% are not going to get married, okay? For whatever reason. It's because, black women or black men marry and date out 2 to 3 times what black women do. So it's lopsided. Plus, there's more women than men. So, that's why I always say open up your options. And there are psychologists that have said the same thing I'm doing. These are black men that have said this, okay? I'm not just making this crap up. It's truth. And here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you this. Us as men, we're the providers. We provide, we pay the bills, we do what it takes. We do the heavy lifting. We're the leaders in our community. Every man out there will tell you men need to be the leaders, right? You hear that all the time. And women, you need to submit, right? You hear this all the time. Okay, let me break this down. First of all, okay, let's go with women, okay? Women, yes. Okay, women, what is your responsibility in a relationship? And I'm going with women first. Okay, number one, you need to be loving. You need to be loyal to your husband. You need to love your husband. And you need to submit, right? We hear this all the time. Yes, that is biblical. That is truth. And you should do it. But okay, now us as men, what's our responsibility? Okay? And we say we want to be the leaders and women need to submit to us. Okay? Now, we need to do our duties, okay, to get our wives to submit to us. Number one, we need to provide. We need to go to work. We have to have a job. We got to pay the bills, point blank. That is our duty, okay? That is what's expected of us. All right? Now, biblically, it tells us that we're supposed to love our wives like Christ loved the church, which he would give his life for it. Guess what? That means your wife, you would give your life for her because you're supposed to love her that much. And if you do that, you're going to get that submission, guys. You're going to get it. But we don't do that in society. All right. Okay. I'm just going off here. But that's our requirements. Okay? But we're supposed to love women like Christ loved the church. Point blank. So if you're doing that, yeah, you should get submission. Most definitely. But if you're not doing your part, if she's working, if she's pulling all the weight and you're sitting on the couch, you don't deserve that submission. You don't even deserve her. You don't even deserve to have a woman in your life, in my opinion. If you ain't a man that can work and put forth the effort and at least try, you don't deserve to have a wife. You don't even deserve to have a girlfriend. Point blank. People don't even understand what men's duties are. And you know what? This Karen dude out there that's telling women that they need to be accountable, that they need to do this and that, and they need to improve themselves. Well, dang it, what are the men doing? Because women's responsibility is to be loving, loyal, and submit to their husbands. That's it. There's nothing else. But we're so stupid that we got weak men that are looking for women to take care of them. I mean, seriously, it's facts. So I say, open up your options, date out, and you know what? If you want to swirl, divest, interracially date, marry, do it. The hell with everybody else. Who cares what they think? It's about you, ladies. What's the best option for you? Men too. What's your best option? You know, I married my wife because she's the best option. Black women are the best option. And why? Beyond my belief, people don't freaking see it. People don't open their eyes. I don't know if God hadn't shined the light in their eyes. I don't know. But if you look at it statistically, Black women are the most educated, most businesses, most loyal, the biggest heart. And if you got to know them, you would know it. But yeah, we choose to be in our own box. We choose to, be loyal to, the community, the collective, and all this stuff. But you know what? What's best for you, ladies? What's best for you guys? What's best? Becky was not the best option. And I love Becky. I think Becky's awesome. But Black women win the day. And you know what? I have 7 years plus to prove it. No marriage is more better than mine. So to hell with the people that don't like what I'm doing. To hell with the people that are offended what me stepping out of my racial box. Heck with you. Go kick rocks and cry somewhere. I'm just saying. And this propaganda of saying one group's worse than the other, because most of the population was going to do most of the bad things. Most of the population is going to do most of the good things too. I can flip the script and say, well, yeah, we're superior because we're doing better things. But is that true? No, it's not. It's not facts. It's not reality. And I'm sorry. This pisses me off. This is crap. And you know what? Ladies, go your route. If you want to swirl, if you want to interracially date, if you want to divest, I don't even know what that is right now. But if that's your choice, do it. Because you got to do what's best for you. And I'm seeing this stuff and I'm like, oh my God. And as a Black woman going out, talking against stuff, shouldn't another Black woman uplift another Black woman? And I'm not going in on Black woman, but I see the crap. Because the bottom line is us as people, men and women, we should do what's best for us. We should do what makes more sense. We should go with the one that loves us the most. We should go with the one that celebrates us the most. And I don't care if they're white, Black, or Chinese, or whatever they are. The best option is where you should go. And I'm not saying white men are the best option, because a lot of times they're not. Okay, so be it. Go to your best option. It might be that Asian guy. It might be that Hispanic guy. Go where is best for you. Okay? That's what you should do. Men and women, do what's best for you. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to go into this stats some more. Okay? Now, when it comes to interracial dating, okay? Our marriages, interracial marriages. Okay. When it comes to, and I'm going to use names, okay? And I'm not going in on anybody, but I'm going to say Tyrone and Becky, their marriages, and Brad and Keisha. Okay, Brad and Keisha's marriages are 40% more successful than Tyrone and Becky. Tyrone and Becky are 40% more likely to end in divorce. Okay, that's statistically, they've done studies. Okay, and I'm not saying that Tyrone and Becky, I'm against them. I'm not. I pray to God that their marriages work, and some of them do, and that's beautiful. Okay, but statistically, that's the truth. Okay, and I'm going off today because this really got under my skin, because this woman went out and said that, this group of men is the most dangerous, and there's so many red flags. They're going to kill you more. They're going to assault you more. The same rhetoric we hear all this time. But that's the most populated group of people on this earth. Well, in America, I'm not going to say on this earth, but in America. So yeah, they're going to hold the majority when it comes to good, bad, and indifferent. Okay. But guys, find out the whole truth. Okay. Now, I'm not saying a white guy or a Hispanic guy or an Asian guy's the best option, because I don't know. You got to vet that person. But you can study stats, you can look at data, but get the whole truth. Okay. And I don't understand why people are attacking black women for dating and marrying out when black men do it the most. Okay. That makes no sense to me. Why would you keep a certain group of women where it's so lopsided when it comes to relationships, to where they can only choose one group of men? Why? That's cruel and unusual punishment. That's abuse to me. I believe that. We all have our preferences, and go with that and choose the best out of your preference. But what I'm saying is, why shame somebody that chooses to go elsewhere? Okay? And I know this divestment thing, it is a sensitive topic, okay? I know a lot of people don't like to hear it, but if women choose it, let them have it. In my community, if thousands of Beckys say that black man's the best option, let them have it. Because people are not going to be happy till they have their preference. The ones they love and want to be with, that's what's going to make them happy. And we should embrace that. Okay? And truth be told, most people marry within their race, and most people don't go outside of it. So if you're one of these segregationists that have a problem with some black woman that finds a white guy or a Asian guy, why? Shouldn't we all have somebody we love? Shouldn't we all be married to someone we love? I'm just saying, really? And why would I attack someone I don't even know? That's so damn stupid. But I see it all the time. So what I'm saying is, ladies, if you want to divest and do your thing. If you want to date out, do it. If you want to stay with your own racial group, do it. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it comes what's best for you. And in my life, I chose the best option I had. And black women was the best option. And I'm reaping the benefits. I'm reaping the blessings. And I'm living an awesome life. And you know what? If anybody hates it, well, that's your problem. Because I'm living the blessing. And everybody should have that right to do it, regardless of who you go with. Okay. To each their own. Yes, love is love, regardless of color. Yes, most definitely. Don't go trying to attack a certain group because you don't agree with people dating or marrying out. If you got a problem with that, you have a problem. That's your problem. Go cry in a corner somewhere. Point blank. And I tell you, black women are the best option. And I tell you what, and if there's your ladies, your counterparts, if they don't have value in you, hey, come over to where I'm at. We'll accept you. We love you. Come over here. And you know what? No man should require nothing of a woman except for her to be loving, loyal, and just be her beautiful self. Because I'm telling you, us as men, we're the providers. We're the leaders, right? We better act like it. And I'm telling you, man, you don't try to practice her pigamy. What is it? Hypergamy, right? That's women need to do that, not us as men. You know why? Because us as men, we build, we create, we're the leaders, we move up, we progress, we move forward. And if you can't do that as a man, step off and go somewhere else. But men, we need to be the leaders. And you know what? And I would say the opposite of what these dating gurus say, that women need to bring some. No, women don't bring nothing to the table but accept your love, your loyalty, and just be your beautiful self. Us as men, we need to pick up the load. We need to put it on our shoulders. We need to make it happen. And if you can't do that as a man, well, you don't deserve to have a woman. Period. In the story. You don't deserve to have a wife. I don't care your race or group or whatever. Because women should only bring their loyalty to the table, their love to the table. That's it. And if you require more of that, you're not the leader. You're not the man. You're just a punk, and you need to go somewhere else. You need to just date the rest of your life and hit the wall. You don't deserve a family. Point blank. In fact, these dating gurus, they need to flip the script and put it on the men. What are you going to do to have a high-value woman? You need to have a job. You need to make money. You need to provide. You need to make it happen. And if you can't do that, guys, you don't deserve to be married. You don't deserve to have a woman in your life. Point blank. You know, in other cultures, you know, the man comes forward and he's going to marry the daughter. In a lot of cultures, he'll show what cattle he has. He'll show, the livestock. He'll show his wealth to the father. Why? Why is that? Number one, so the father knows that he can take care of his daughter. Why don't we live like that? Why would a woman be working 2 jobs while a man's sitting his butt on the couch? Why would that happen? It's because we're weak as men. It's because we're not men. We're garbage. We're crap. And we need to have a kick in the ass. We need to have a slap in the face and say, wake up. And ladies, you go where the real men are. And I don't, there are real men in every group of men. There are. And there are weak, feminine men that want you to take care of them. You got to weed through that. And I'm sorry you got to do that. You shouldn't have to. Men should be banging down your door coming for you. Because you know what? You're the treasure. You're the prize. You're what we should go for. Men that think of themselves as a prize is a weak woman with a penis. I'm just going to say it. I'm so fed up with this garbage. It's stupid. If we're real men, we'll provide for our women. And I get it. Sometimes in the low economic level, both men and women got to work to make it happen. I get it. I understand. Okay? I'm not pointing the finger, but God dang it, you as a man will fight tooth and nail to make that go away to where you can provide everything, to where you can be the real man, to where you can Get your woman to love you and actually submit to you what God says should happen. But anyway, sorry guys, I'm just getting a little too involved in this. But I'm seeing so much crap going on, and I'm just so upset with it. I feel so crazy with this stuff because it's so stupid. Why do you think our society's such crap? Why do you think we got such poverty? Because our men are weak. It's not the women's fault. It's us as men. Yeah, there's some women that do evil stuff. I get it. There's women that'll do crap to men. There are women that will take advantage. I get it. I know it. But us as men, if we would do what we're supposed to do, a lot of that stuff would take care of itself. Oh man, I'm just like, gosh dang. But we're more worried about people dating outside the race. Oh my God, they're going to divest. Oh, that's so horrible. Gosh dang it, they should if they're going to find a real man. Really? Go where the real men are. And there are real men in every group. There are, but you got to weed it out. We're so weak in society that we expect women to come forward with all this crap. What are they going to bring to the table? Really? You know what a woman should bring to the table? Her love, her loyalty, and be beautiful. That is it. If you expect more of a woman, you're not a real man. I'm just saying. If you're telling a woman that she's got a lower standard, you're not a real man. If you're telling a woman she's got to do more, you're not a real man. That's facts. And I'm just saying, a real man provides, protects, and puts his wife and kids above himself. That's what a leader does, guys. That's true leadership. That's the real man. That's the strength. A man's supposed to be tough. He can take it. He can take the beating. He can take the horrible stuff that life has to offer to protect his wife and kids. Isn't that what we're supposed to be? But we're not. We're just, oh, yeah, what's she going to bring to the table? Does she have a size 4 dress size? How does she look? Really? That's what we're focused on? It's pathetic. This is all pathetic, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sorry, ladies. Us as men have failed you. Point blank. But ladies, you need to go where the men are that are going to provide for you, protect you, and celebrate you. And if that means going to the white guy, the Hispanic guy, the Asian guy, or maybe there might be a black guy there that's going to do all that, go to the right man. I'm just saying. But go where you are loved, celebrated. Because naturally, women are going to cling to the man that's a provider. She's not a gold digger. She's looking at the man that's working hard. She's looking at the man that has resources. She's looking at the man that's going to provide for her and their children. But us as stupid ass men think, oh, well, she wants somebody that makes a good living. She's a gold digger. No, dumbass loser. She wants somebody that provides. If you're still at McDonald's at 28 years old, you're a loser. I'm just going to say it. Unless you're a manager or own the place. And I'm not going in on anybody that works at McDonald's. Because to me, anybody that's working and trying to better themselves is a good person. I celebrate that. So don't get me wrong on this. But what I'm saying is, if you're not making progress as a man, if you're not trying to move up, you don't deserve the woman that's there. I'm just going to say it. It is what it is. But so many times we're relying on women because we became weak as men. What happened? And I'm talking across the board. Oh, God, man. But ladies and gentlemen, don't deceive women. Tell them the whole truth, okay? If they want to swirl, swirl. Black, white, whatever. Let them do it. If they want to date out, let them do it. If they want to divest, whatever that means, let them do it. Because the bottom line, it don't matter who they're with as long as they're with someone that loves them, someone that takes care of them, someone that respects them. Point blank. And us as men should want that for our women. Okay? We shouldn't try to discourage them for looking for a good man, whether it's in a different racial group or not. Okay? And that's why I got a problem with people putting out stats and not researching the whole truth. Okay? That's why I have a problem with that. Because men and women, black women out there, there are men and women that will discourage you for opening up your options because they think you should be segregated and live that life. Now, what I say to you, you make your own choice. But I would say, wouldn't you want to go with the man that celebrates you, the one that loves you, the one that's going to provide for you? Of any racial group, you know? And us as men, we should provide. Us as men shouldn't seek women that make more than us. I say this all the time. We shouldn't. We should go to women that are either in our same economic group or a little lower, because that way, us as men can feel like men. We can provide. We can move up. We can go from middle class to upper middle class and maybe even beyond. But we feel like a real man when we're doing that. You don't feel like a man when the the wife you're with makes more than you and is the breadwinner and making things happen while you're not. That's devastating. Naturally us as men, we don't feel right. It breaks us down when we have to live that. So why would you search for that? I'm just saying, but bottom line is we should be with the person that loves us, that respects us. And you know what? Us as men, we should not be concerned whether the women that look like us are dating out, marrying out. We should be concerned as if they're finding a good husband. We should be concerned if they're finding someone that truly loves us. And a real man would think in that concept. And a real man, if he wasn't a real man, he'd say, wow, how can I be a real man? And he'd work hard and become a real man. That's what a real man would do. But our pride gets in the way. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop yelling, stop going off. But seriously, and why would we knock down a group of women that's doing the most? And I see men knocking down black women. I see other black women knocking down black women. Did you know they're the most educated? Did you know they have the most businesses of any group of women in America? Did you know that? And they have the least resources of any group of women in America. Did you know that? So why would we knock them down? In fact, I see the blessing. I see the blessing in black women ever since I was 5 years old. And you know what? That's the only group of women I ever wanted to be with. And you know what? I'm married to my wife till the end of time. And if something, God forbid, were to happen to her, I would never get married again. But if I did, it would be a black woman, most definitely. Because that's the best choice. That's the best group of women. And that's my opinion, but I could pull out stats that show that they're the most successful. But no hate towards any other group of women, because you can find good women in every group you can. But the thing of it is you got to go what's best for you. Go for the best option. You know? And truth be told, guys, Us as men, we might not be the best option, but let the women go for the best option and learn how we can be the best option. That would be the wise decision, right? If white men were total garbage and women were running from them because we suck, then I would have to sit down and say, okay, we're not good. How can I be better? Shouldn't we do that? And I'm not saying any group of men sucks. I'm just trying to put an example together, you know. And I tell you, I have no problem with Becky's dating out. I don't. I I I embrace it. I celebrate it. I think it's beautiful. If that's who you love to be with, whether it's a black guy or an Asian guy, hey, go for it. God bless you for it. I'm not going to tear down that group because of pride, because they're being chosen over me. So be it. I'm just saying. But in a perfect world, we'd look at the facts. We'd look at what's really going on and not try to stir up statistics or just put out the half truths. We'd put out the whole truth. And that's my thing with tonight's show. I'm telling you guys, I had the rant on this. It was just making me so mad because here's the thing. When you only put out so much data to fit your narrative, but you won't put out the whole data, you're disingenuous. You're leading people the wrong way. And people that follow you are going to believe in your stuff. So have the full data. And this YouTuber, I have a problem with this YouTuber because it's ingenuous. It's wrong. It's false. Yeah, the data's right, but you don't go further. You don't tell the whole truth. Half the truth is a lie. The only truth is the whole truth. But I just had to go there. I had to let it out because it's making me mad. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, open up your options. I'm saying every person of every racial group, men, women, open up your options and search for the best person for you. And don't worry what anybody else thinks. It's not their concern. It's their problem if they have a problem with it. But it's your life. So you want the best for your life, or you should. So go for that best option. And I'm not going to say who the best option is because us as individuals are different. Us as individuals, you know, we're different. Even in the same group, we're different people. Some of us have character, some of us do not. So, and I'm not saying that the white guy is the perfect choice. I'm not saying the Asian guy is the perfect choice, or Hispanic guy, or the black guy. You got to decide for yourself. And the one that treats you the best, the one that loves you, is the best choice. Point blank. Um, but anyway, I just this just got under my skin. It's like, gosh, if you're going to put some data out there, put the whole truth. Really? I mean, don't just do it to make one group look better than the other. Put the whole truth. Truth be told, we all have issues we got to clear up. We all have problems we got to solve. Give people the truth. But anyway, I'm just on a rant tonight, guys, and I'm not going to mention this YouTuber. I'm just going to say, you know what? I hope this YouTuber actually puts out the whole truth next time and not just a snippet of it to make one group look better over the other. I just pray that happens, you know. And my channel is not an attack channel. I just want to put the truth out there. And I just want people to go for the best option they have. And you know what? Other racial groups, you have good men and good women. You have bad too. Um, but go where you're celebrated. Go where you're loved. Okay, because it's your life. It's not. It's not your community's life. It's not the collective's life. It's not your family's life. It's not the people that live in your town's life. It's your life. What's best for you? Yeah, Lisa, black women are the best choice. They are. Okay, and I'm not saying that because I chose to marry a black woman. They are the best choice because they have the most success, because they are the most loyal. They have the biggest hearts, and they're the most spiritual. And if anybody can come up and tell me anything different, please do. But I could prove you wrong in a heartbeat just by data. But yeah, black women are the best choice. They are, point blank. And that's not to say other women can't be a good choice. No, there's good women in other groups also. But black women, you lead the way. You really do. And why you don't get the love and respect and the recognition is beyond me. But anyway, let's see. Sarah. You don't get the love is beyond me. But anyway. Okay. Hey, Sarah.
Well, hello. Good
Hello.
evening.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really this topic is really sensitive.
Yeah, it is. I I just have an issue with it because I seen some YouTuber put it in data, but not the whole truth. And to me, it's like, don't be misleading. I mean, truth is truth, but have the whole truth. Because if you got a half truth, you actually got a lie. But anyway, sorry.
First of all, I want to vent too, but I don't want to. I don't want to be that crazy lady, like that mad black woman or whatever they say.
Yeah,
but but I'm gonna address everything that you said. Um, First of all, this the people that are saying that, um women should provide and blah blah blah, they are they're just lazy, like they don't want to do their parts. That's why they're like blaming it all on women. But there's also like women who want to be independent, yeah, but at the same time it's like they're losing that kind of thing that I talked about, like the old fashioned, or that what do you call it, integrity.
yeah,
They're losing it. They're losing integrity and just relying on them. And then second of all, that's because they really don't know how to treat a woman. Like they don't know how to treat their mother, because they don't have like the if we're talking about the bad people here, or the men that are like really treating women like really bad, it's because they don't have a daughter yet. And I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't like it if their daughter was treated like that, or if someone treated their mother like that.
yeah. But sadly, people with daughters and mothers, um, some men don't care. I mean, they're so caught up in themselves, they don't think about, you know, the mother that provided for them, that gave birth to them, or the sisters they might have. Sadly, there's men out there that don't look at that. I mean, we should, as men, have compassion. And you would think that men that come from single mothers and stuff would have the utmost respect for women, that would want to do the best. But unfortunately, a lot of times these men end up being like their fathers. I mean, I get what you're saying, they should, but I
Other than the religion, like not religion, but like fear of God, that's gone. That's not like you can't find that.
have the utmost respect for women. that would
Okay.
want to do the best. But unfortunately, a lot of times
There's no fear of God
in
inside of
like
their
the
soul.
problem.
There's no
Yeah.
conscious.
I mean, I get what you're saying. They should, but
Hey, Jet, you got two devices on or something going on. I'm hearing an
Let's
echo.
start a riot.
Hey, if let's see if it's gone. Okay. Hey, Jet, welcome to the show.
I swear to
Hi,
God,
how
Uh,
are
burn
you?
down the whole building. About this situation, I can burn down the whole building. I'm like really, really angry about this situation here. How how
yeah,
how women are being mistreated and yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's sad. Hey, Jet, how you doing?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. We had a little echo in the beginning. Um,
Mhm. Well, I was just
Sarah.
going to wait till Sarah was done and then just say something, but I'll just wait till she's
Oh,
done.
Hi,
okay.
Jen. I'll let you.
Hi.
I'm just I'm venting. I don't think I'm ever gonna be done.
Oh,
But
Okay.
okay.
Go.
I'm sorry. I'm not giving you an attitude. I'm just really mad. I'm
Go.
pissed. I'll let you go.
All right. Oh, no, no, no. I'll come back when you're done.
Oh, you
No,
can
no.
stay
Go ahead.
on.
Go ahead, Jet. Go
You
ahead.
can, you can stay on.
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead, Sarah.
it's a ridiculous story. So I'll just wait until you're done. I'd want to hear what she says.
Okay.
I honestly don't want to. I don't want to like talk about my personal life, but from what I've seen, like I don't understand. It comes back to what I said before, like how they look at women in general, or how they feel about having a girl. Like they're not really. Like I really wish that there was a lot of men like you, Brent, because you seem to be the only one who really, you know, appreciates daughters and like appreciates wives and women. Like you seem to respect um
Well,
that yeah.
I'm not the only guy. The thing of it is I respect women. I respect my wife because I've been so blessed by my wife. I have the utmost respect for black women because I've seen the wonderful things they've done and I felt the love that they have. And I just hate other people tearing them down. And well, women in general, I love and respect women. We should as men. And why we would require more of a woman, why we would expect them to do more than they should and actually do men's work is just crazy to me. But
I don't really mean to trash talk like men or anything, but it's just that
no,
the majority and what I've seen, I I rarely come across people like you. Like I didn't even I wasn't even on YouTube. Like you're the first person that I ever communicated on YouTube and I actually shown my face. Like I had phobia about that, but it's gone because like I actually had to go online to ask you to pray for me, to overcome this fear that I have. Like this is the depression here. This is the real depression here. This is the real sadness. Like this is why I'm really sad.
yeah.
This is why a lot of people are doing drugs and turning into evil monsters because there's no there's no love. There's like they can't see it from you're right. Like guys need to be a leader. They see it from they see it from them not being loving, whatever.
Well, well, Sarah, I believe that us as men, if we would pick up the slack and do what we're supposed to do as men, I believe that society would be better off. Yeah, there's crooked women too. It's not all men's fault, but us as leaders, we got to lead the way. And I think us as men, if we would actually start leading the way and be men that God intended us to be, I think society would be better. I really do. Um,
Hmm.
and like I said, I'm not saying that men are all trash and women ain't at fault. But what I'm saying is, us as
No, yeah,
men, we need to do our part. And I think if we did, things would fall together easier. And you can't tell a woman to submit. You can't, and if she's not your wife, she don't need to submit to you anyway. But
Wait,
even
how
if
would she want to? Sorry, why would she want
okay,
to submit to you if you're so criticizing? You're so critical. Like you can't even say something nice. Like you're always
well,
criticizing. Sorry, okay, I'm
yeah,
I'm
no, I
now. But really, like, why are you so mean, guys? Like, why? God, I'm gonna go
yeah,
get my
no,
jacket. Sorry.
okay. No, but what I'm saying is, us as men, if we became men, we would society would be better off. And yeah, women, why would a woman want to submit to you when you're not doing your part as a man? It would be hard for her. She would be doing it out of obligation instead of out of love. If you're a man providing, being a good husband, and doing what you're supposed to do, your wife's going to submit naturally. If she loves you, she's just going to do it. You ain't even you. It's just going to be a natural thing. But the thing of it is, us as men, we're not living up to that, so it's creating a problem. It's like throwing a wrench into the gears. It just stops it and messes everything up. And that's always been my argument when I see society as trashed as it is. I say people open up your options because at the end of the day, regardless of the racial group of the men and women, if you find someone that really loves you, that's the treasure. That's the prize there. Uh Jet just jumped off.
I'm
Hey
sorry,
Jet,
Jen. I was being.
uh I don't know if she jumped off or fell off. Sometimes StreamYard kicks people off accidentally. Jet, if you want to come back on the things there, sorry. Um,
Guys have no. You guys like really have no idea at all what women go through and how much they're hurting. No idea. And I think that only the day of judgment, you guys will only know until God will make you feel that same pain. And that guy, whoever was talking about like women or whatever, um, like I'm just gonna say I'm leaving you to God. Yeah, that's something that people should fear. Guys should fear when a woman says, "I'm leaving you to God," because you're in trouble. Especially when you
yeah,
mess with somebody who loves God and worships God and who's close to God. Guys are in trouble.
yeah. Well, we're all going to be held accountable, and men are going to be held accountable more than women when it comes to family and when it comes to the children and stuff. Because men are supposed to be leaders according to God, and if we're not doing it, we're going to be held accountable, most
And
definitely.
not being fair. The most important thing is just being fair. Be fair. If
Yeah.
if you're gonna be a jackass, sorry. Sorry. If you're gonna be somebody negative, just be fair. Because eventually you're gonna apologize for all the things you did, and you're gonna see that you shouldn't have an attitude or you shouldn't be a loyal and dishonest person.
Yeah. I mean, well, the problem is here in society, we're not doing what we're supposed to, and a lot of us men are not living up what we're supposed to, and I say it all the time, and that's my biggest argument for open up your options because, like I said, in today's world, regardless of the race of the person, you need a good marriage. You need a good dynamic. Two people that love each other, two people that are going to be there for each other. That's what we need. Um, but unfortunately, um, people are living their lives in pride and lust and don't look at the long-term effect. They don't look at the family. They don't look at the marriage. And unfortunately, that's the problem we're in today. We got out of those basic,
I had
things in life.
right. I agree. I have I had a brother, my blood brother. I have three older brothers, four older brothers. Three of them are white, and they're from my mother's side. And I have one blood brother. Me and him were like really close, my blood brother. And
Uh-huh.
the way he treated me was like, honestly, all of my four older brothers, they were like parents to me, like the parents I never had. And I had I really adored how my brother treated me as a sister. Like he really took care of me. He was very protective and he would listen to me. But it was just until like I don't know. I'm just saying that men should be more like that. Like even their sisters with their sisters, they should take care of them. Like I'm not saying like oh they should like provide for their sisters, but no, like just listening, being there. Like even that's not there anymore. It's just fighting and whatever. And
Yeah, not the respect factor. Um, yeah, and it's society. We just got out of that thing. Hey, Jet. It just says your devices are not connected. I could pull you up as soon as they are. Yeah, you're right. Us as men, we should have more respect for women. We should. And you're right. Even as a sister, taking care of your sister or the women in your life, in your family. Um, that could lead on how you take care of your future wife and your future daughters. Yeah, that
sometimes
does. That has a big impact, I think. Yes. I
sometimes
mean,
my teacher says like oh sometimes women don't appreciate what men provide for them. This was my favorite teacher from high school. And she's right. Some women don't appreciate, but maybe they aren't feeling valued or appreciated. That's why they're acting that way. Like women don't go off out of their way and ruin something, sabotage a relationship that's perfect, unless someone is being suspicious or being really aggravating or something. I don't
yeah.
think that women just go off and ruin something. There has to be. She might have not felt safe with him. He probably did something that didn't make her feel safe. The man is supposed to provide safety for the woman. She needs to feel 24/7 safe around him. He has to give that energy. If you're not ready to be honest and provide safety, then don't do it. Like I really literally want to curse right now. Like I don't feel like saying. I feel like saying a lot of stuff right now. I feel like burning a whole
No,
freaking
I
full of.
get it. I get it. I touched a sensitive area tonight, but I think it needed to be said. You know, um, women, you're not being respected like you should. You're not being treated like you should. I get it. And
Well,
us as men, we should be.
it's the safety part. Like they need to
Yeah,
provide safety and just being honest. You need to be a pure energy, like this pure source of honesty and just doing it for the sake of God. Especially if
yeah,
you believe you're gonna meet God in the end. Like
yeah. You should. You're totally right. Hey, Jet, good to see
Hi,
you.
nice to
Jet,
see you.
yeah. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. I wanted to tell you an interesting story, but it's so like not on the topic of what Sarah's saying. So I was just gonna wait till she was done so I can tell you because I thought it was something. I thought of you, and I was gonna come in earlier, but I was busy, and apparently I missed something exciting because you were going crazy up here. So I thought I'd just.
I was right. I was just ranting, going on.
I don't know what I
but
missed, but I wish I'd started at the beginning.
but you know what? I felt it was necessary because people put forth some things that they'll put truths out there, but they don't put the whole truth, and it's like
Yeah.
to fit their narrative, and it's like, come on. I mean,
Hmm.
get the whole truth. I mean, the
Right.
the truth is like a double-edged sword. It's going to cut us all. It really is. Because
Well, I mean, my story is very interesting. It's very ridiculous and it's very over the top, but I thought I would share it with you just to give you an idea of what kind of crazy is going out here in the world. But Sarah's depressed, and I just want her to get her point out before I interrupt with something ridiculous. So,
Oh,
that's
okay.
and you're not looking at your private
I am
chat.
oppressed. I am oppressed.
Oh, I understand. You
Because
said you were
that
depressed though
oppression,
earlier. I
and
thought.
because of that oppression and wrongdoings that were I had to deal with.
Okay.
That's why I have depression.
No, I understand. I'm not saying that
I'm
it's
just
wrong.
putting
I'm
my
just saying
I'm
that
putting
my
my point out
story is
there.
ridiculous and it's
Yeah.
about men and it's about something crazy that happened recently, but I don't want to say it right now at the same time. So I should probably come up at a different time when Sarah is not on or someone else isn't on, because it doesn't flow in any way at all. I just thought you would get an idea of what kind of things women have to deal with, and I thought it was very interesting, and I wanted to get your take on it. But you're also
Yeah,
like, when I type in your private chat, you don't say anything.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm just
I
saying, like, there's a lot of women like us that are the majority of women that are oppressed. They're going through the same thing and worse. That I'm speaking for the whole women, and for me, like, I'm not just speaking for myself.
I'm not saying you're not. I don't really know what you're talking about, but this has nothing to do with it, but we just happen to come up at the same time. So I wanted to give you a chance to speak, but I can come in at like at a different time. That's all. It's no big deal.
yeah.
So I'm going to go
sorry.
ahead and leave now.
I'll just go ahead.
Oh, Sarah, you dropped off.
I'm sorry for the
Oh, no.
miscommunication. I didn't mean to do anything. I was just putting my point out there. I'm not just, yeah. I'll let her talk.
Oh yeah, she just dropped off. Hey Jet, come back on.
Yeah, please come back on. Like, I'm
sorry.
sorry if I seemed aggressive, but it's not towards you. I promise. It's just the subject.
Yeah. Hey Jet, come back on. Let's see. Sorry guys, I really haven't looked at my private chat. I just got so involved in the conversation and venting and stuff, and yeah, I think this is a topic that is it's a sensitive topic we're talking about, and the topic. What is the topic? We're talking about swirling, divestment, dating out, and people putting out information, half truths, and not putting the whole truth out there.
Jet, I'm really sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful or anything. It's just the subject.
Yeah. Come on, Jet. Come on up. Oh, Miss. Okay, Miss Souza M. Is that how you say it?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hope I said your name right. Sorry if
It's Mrs. Am. It's just a
Miss
long
Suzanne. Okay. Hey, good to see you.
Hello. This is my first time actually watching your channel.
Oh, okay.
So like, it's nighttime here. I got the bonnet on. I can't be on camera, but kudos to y'all. I guess the whole this whole divestment thing is kind of new to me. I mean, I've always done it. I mean, I've always dated outside of my race. It's unfortunate that we're dealing with what we're dealing with now, but I guess seeing it now play out on the internet and all the stuff that has come of it in the past, I'm guessing, it's just now getting big because people had stuff to do in 2020 and 2021. People are now becoming more aware of actual thoughts. I guess it's a nice thing to start being more aware of what's happening out there and what people's real thoughts on it are, as opposed to when it comes to, I'm actually, I'm a Black female. I've, I guess, quote unquote, hit the wall by most uh, crazy standards nowadays. I'm in my late 30s, um, but I guess what I have to say to partially the young lady that I'm, seeing play out her thoughts on the on your show is, baby girl, I know you're angry. I was angry yesterday, and then I went outside, I talked to somebody, and I went back to what I was doing because I mean, you got so much going for you. You look young, you look beautiful, you look vivacious, like do your thing. Okay? I understand you can be mad, but coming from somebody that has a little life experience, I don't think I'm that old. Um, I mean, there's nothing to get hard up on. I've been called everything under the sun. I'm a divorcee. You know, I've had to deal with a person bringing me in and out of court for child stuff. I've had my son, and I'm never going to regret, having a child early. But I mean, I'm almost done with my first career and I'm moving on to the next. I'm also a service member, road runner, whoop whoop. I saw your picture. So
Oh yeah. Are you still serving?
yeah. Yeah,
Oh
I am.
nice.
I'm on my last year. I'm about to retire. So,
Oh
but I mean,
nice.
even still, you know, if I could retire and focus on my next career, school, I'm hoping to bring my mother down here and we're, looking into refurnishing furniture. You know what I mean? I,
Okay.
but to say all that, it's just to say, over my, you know, my service period, my first career, I've had a lot of gentlemen come up to me and tell me I'm intimidating or tell me that, like you do too much or you know too much. I like culture. I like art. I like getting out. You know, my child is a spectrum child. He's on the spectrum. Even he, he's constantly doing stuff. He knows, how to cook, clean, take care of himself. And this is a child that for all purposes necessary, people thought wouldn't even speak or would never get out of diapers. So, I mean, he's about to graduate high school with honors and move on to college. So to focus on these men straight away, and yes, I am single, but I'm me. You know what I mean? You need to
Yeah.
focus on. I know you're talking about spirituality, getting into I don't know what everybody's cup of tea is. I know Jesus is my Lord and Savior. But,
Yeah.
get into what you're getting into and focus in on that. And, your prayers will be worked upon. I mean, I prayed about so many things that have just been popping up lately. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
was just putting my voice. I was just putting my voice out there because everybody
and I'm
has a
not saying your voice shouldn't be out there, but
yes.
I would hate that you later on will look back and be like, oh, why was I so angry? And you be focused on being angry
I get
on
it.
how you how you set yourself in this angry mindset. And it's not necessary because there's just tomorrow's another day. It's not guaranteed, but it's another day. It's that gift to move on to the next. And I'm happy I found these new little communities popping out. I actually found you on Lexus Exodus. I think you
Oh
guys had a
yeah.
discussion once.
We
Yeah,
did.
and
Yeah.
I mean, just hearing about all these wonderful career women going out there getting their business, minding their business, and being focused. It's going to be tough times, and you're going to remember. Oh, he said this, and I just talked to my mother about it. She's like, "So how's the whole dating scene going?" And I was like, it's crazy because as soon as I started watching all this like divestment stuff and started getting my goal list together for 2022 and everything, people started popping up. Like straight up, people I
Yeah.
haven't talked to in years, people I have blocked, previously, and they're just like, hey, how you doing, what's up? And it's like the enemy saying, hey, I'm gonna throw these temptations at you, but but it's not
Yeah.
happening. It's not going anywhere. It's nothing for me to get mad at. And that's one of the topics I was mad about yesterday. And she was like, "Don't let that shit just glide off your back." You know what I mean? Let it beat up and just roll off your back, because I'm focusing on what I want to do, and stop focusing on what society needs to tell, or tells me what I should do. You know what I mean? You always have this idea of like, I need to push this narrative of being the strong Black woman. I should bring strong Black children into the world. And I tell you, my previous husband was this Black guy, and he was the most pettiest of them all. Like I said, this year ended this side of the family's relationship with him. And even my son doesn't want to see him, because he got to a point where he was abusive to my son. And both of us are in therapy for it. Both of us are going to work through it, but he is no longer attached to this family. you know um People want to poison your mind just for the sake of having control. And if you allow them to see your anger and allow them to feed off of your anger, they will continue to attach themselves and keep on going with it. So, baby girl, I get what you're saying though about that spirituality stuff. Like, I've
Yeah.
looked on the dating apps and everything, and they don't know if they want kids. They don't know what they believe in. They don't. So okay, if you're telling me you have no spiritual self, I can't gauge your morals, your values. Like, I'm telling you, friends, family, God first, and then friends and family. Like, I need to know activities that you're into. Do you have a hobby, sir? Because I know all my hobbies. I know what I'm intrigued about. I know what information but that's the stuff you need to start. You need to build up, my lady. You need to build up those hobbies. Anger goes well with creating things. Paint a picture. You know,
No,
learn. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry.
You mean take a class, take a trip, do the spa, like, and then move on to the next group of people that deserve you. You get what I'm saying? Or that upgraded version of you. Because I'll
Well,
be daggone if I'm going out looking as good as I do, and I invite people over to my brand new home looking fully designable, fully designed and curated, and you can't match what I'm matching. And like I said, I've had guys tell me, "Oh, well, you're intimidating." Oh, well, should I shrink myself for you, sir? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Right.
Should I?
Yeah.
What do you need me to bow? Oh, well, Sam, you need to be more submissive. You need to be open for what? And some of the things that I've been considering over the next year was maybe having another child, or doing, you know, uh, dating out, or the dating out is a goal anyway, but just focusing on that, and divesting. But I mean, you'll be surprised, like, when you review back some of the stuff that people have said to you. Like, I really am figuring out that some of these dudes was trying to trap me. like straight up, if the birth control wasn't in, I would have been trapped again. You know what I mean? If I didn't tell them, hey, this is what it is, we're having fun, but in the morning I have to go pick up my child. I'm dedicated to that. I'm dedicated to get him where he needs to be. They would have been. They were severely upset being told that. You know what I mean? And a man, in general, should not feel that way about a child. You get what I'm saying? You shouldn't be jealous of a child because you're a full ass man. You should be helping me along. The guys that I've dated, and they actually had the the chance to actually meet my son, because I'm very about that. I don't really think people should just allow their child to meet their person that they're seeing. I'm old fashioned like that, I guess. But the one or two that I actually let him meet, were friends for a long time. But when it was time to step into the bat, if you show no interest in my child, which is a reflection of me, it it shows that we can't do this. You know what I mean? Am I going to be
Yeah.
sad about it?
No.
No. Am I going to be upset about it? No. Let's move on. Let's be amicable. And sometimes they're not. But I know you can't handle it. You know what I mean? And it's usually the guys that that look very close to me. You know what I mean? That they're in my, racial group, obviously. I'm black, I'm a West Indian American, so I'm first gen West Indian. So, you know, but I mean, I don't think we should necessarily be angry about it. I
Well,
mean, I was dating out when things it wasn't a thing. Like, I mean, I remember us being the first black family to move into the neighborhood, and my little white boyfriends was like, listen, my parents said you're an N-word and I can't be around you. Like, goodbye, peace. And I'm like, oh, like, did that just happen? you know
I'm not going around like obnoxiously or saying that I'm like this is taking the majority of my energy or something. I'm just saying that this is a problem and it needs to be solved. And the reason why I'm taking all my anger out there is because I'm really expressing how men really are. We're living in a world that is it's just there's too much hostility and animalistic, like there's no human beings anymore, you know? That's I was trying to get my point through like that. But I'm not saying that it's taking the I don't know how to live my life. I don't have my own, like I'm building myself. But one of my parents actually said that I wasn't supposed to be born, you know? And that person was supposed to be my everything. And I'm just mad about that. I'm mad about how the men are going around like animals, not taking responsibility, not knowing what well-beings are for kids, and kids have to live like I know kids have to go through hell. Like one of my friends he's an alcoholic. He's an alcoholic. He can't even heal from it because his parents didn't want him either. Like there's a lot of I just see it everywhere, and it's because of the parents or it's because the guys.
well, let me say this.
I'm gonna slip off because I don't want to say. Maybe I'll talk to you, Brent, about this some other time, like with Sandy, you and Sandy, maybe. But
Okay.
I'm not gonna vent anymore because I don't want to be misunderstood at all. Like I'm
No,
seeing people saying, "How old is she?" Like as if I'm saying something wrong. Like no, it's just that I don't want to I don't want to be misunderstood. I'm putting my point out there that yeah, I'm just saying that this needs to stop. Like whatever guys are doing, this needs to stop.
well, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with vetting. Um, vet, let it out. And Sarah, I know you're young in age and things. And it's good that you're thinking about this stuff. You should, because most of us when we're your age, we're not thinking of that. I know when I was young, I wasn't thinking about relationships. I wasn't thinking about how women were treating men or women. I The only thing I cared about when I was dating as a young teenager is how does she look and is it fun to be around her? That's all I had in my mind. And it shouldn't be that way, but when I was young and dumb, I was actually young and dumb, you know. Um but you venting, there's nothing wrong with venting. Everybody should be able to vent, you know.
And I
And,
appreciate
and
everybody. I appreciate everybody. Even Susan, her name is Susan. I appreciate you for your encouragement.
Suzanne.
Suzanne,
Suzanne,
Suzanne, thank you for your encouragement and wisdom, for sharing your wisdom. And I hope
No
everything.
problem.
yeah, but no problem with that. And Sarah, if you do want to talk to me, I can do a a conference call. Me and Sandy can talk to you too. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I also do that.
I'd
Um,
appreciate that.
yeah. But there's nothing wrong with you venting. Don't feel bad. Um, when it comes to relationships, it's a sensitive thing, and a lot of these men out there aren't doing the right thing, and there's a lot of sensitive women because they're not being treated the right way like they should.
And
And
as if they don't have any power, like it's just like they're walking all over. It's like it's just really oppressing. Like it's oppression. Like just because you have power doesn't mean you get to like beat up people all around you or something. You know.
Yeah.
It's wrongdoing. It's wrongdoing. They're
But
wrongdoers.
don't let them have that power. Just cut them off. If they're not treating you right, cut them off. Because the only man that should have a relationship with you is the one that cares about you, the one that loves you. I mean, if they don't have that, cut them off. And don't. I know it's easier said than done, but don't let them get in your head.
It gets easier. I'm gonna poke in and say that it gets easier because I
It
will
gets
I don't
quick
easier.
know.
in a hurry
I don't
block
know. If it's in
somebody.
your family, like where do you run? Like if it's one of your parents, like where do you go? Like it's just something like really, it's insanity.
Sometimes you gotta block your family too.
Yeah.
It sounds bad, but you need to self-preserve sometimes, and taking those little stints and fortifying yourself there's nothing wrong with that. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying? That nobody should ever tell you, friend, foe, family should ever tell you should not have been born. I mean, I think a lot of
Yeah,
us out
that's
there
not
are
right.
accidentes, but no, no, sir.
Hey,
It
hey,
still happened.
let me tell you something. My father was 19 and my mom was 17, so I wouldn't have planned pregnancy by no means. But hey, I
Yes, but
mean,
I mean,
w-
even that, you get what I'm saying? Like, if you're
yeah,
here, then you're supposed to be here. End of
yeah,
story.
you
Live
are.
in your glory. Do you
No, but then
understand?
like saying like you weren't supposed to be a girl because I had four
Why do
older
you?
brothers ahead of me. You weren't supposed to be a
Suzanne.
girl,
Suzanne
and
is
you were
short
supposed to
for
be a
Sam.
boy and treating me like I'm a girl who doesn't deserve to live a good life all my life. Why? Like there's a lot of men out there that treat their daughters like that and treat women like that. You don't deserve a nice life. You don't deserve anything. Like they have that energy.
We don't need to hang around those people. You know what I'm saying? There's that discernment that you build up once you fortify yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's
I'm
the
not putting
therapy.
myself
There's
around that
the
kind of energy. I'm not putting myself around that kind of energy. Of course not. But I'm just saying that this needs to stop. This needs to be burned. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
well, I mean, again, therapy is an option. I enjoy it. I think it's my bougification getting out there.
Hey, hey, hey,
Sometimes you need
guys,
to vent
and
and
hey, hey, let me say this real quick. Therapy is an option, and guys, don't be ashamed of it. I've done therapy. I've had some what you call it, depression, and some things going on, some issues in my life. I've needed help, and being in the army as many years, there's been men and women that have pulled me up and helped me in time of need. There's no shame in you know therapy or nothing like that. I would say, guys, that's the best thing. The thing of it is what helps us as people is other people lifting us up, other people, saying, "Hey, I got you." I, and we all go through some things, and there's no shame about it.
Yes, there's no
Every
shame.
individual goes through depression. I don't care who they are. Every individual needs help sometime in their life. So
Yeah.
don't be ashamed. Yeah.
I
And
actually shouted to one of my parents. Like I said that to the same parent that told me you weren't supposed to be born. I said you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy, and you need to go to therapy. Like I'm sending you hugs for saying that, Brent. Like I really wish that God can just create more of you in this universe, because there's no, like, you shouldn't have, it's just what I said, pride. Like they just
yeah,
have
I
too.
appreciate it. Yeah.
That's it. I'm gonna I don't know. I'm gonna get off because I don't want to start.
You're good, Sarah. I get it. And you know what? Hey, I appreciate you coming on, and there's nothing wrong with venting. And you know what? Therapy is good, guys. Do it. You know, embrace it. You know what? Because all therapy is people helping you, really, and it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. Um, you know, people make us feel bad. People drive us down, but also people lift us up too. So I just wanted to put that out there. Hey, Jet, welcome back, Jet.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
Fine. I like listening to it's Susan. Hi, Susan. How are you?
It's Shazam. Think
Hi,
about
Suzanne.
Sam
How are
Hyde
Shazam.
and
you?
draw it out. Shazam.
Shazam.
Okay. Well, first of all, Sarah, I was not. I didn't think you were being rude by any means. I just think, for me, I mean, my ridiculous story is not what really was not good to be interjected in what you were saying because it was taking away from what you were saying. That was it. But I don't want to say it now because now the mood is kind of changed a little bit, so I'm not going to say it. But
You should
yeah, I
go ahead
just
and
thought
say
it.
it. I'm curious now. Like
No, no, no,
we're all
no, no.
curious. You want to hear it, right?
I think sometimes maybe I should just come in like some people should come in like one at a time if it's like something funny, because that way it's because I don't know. I don't want it to all be depressing. I mean, I want it to be funny
Okay.
stories
Hey,
too.
I didn't
And I
think
just
my
had a
thing was
ridiculous,
depressing. Excuse me.
ridiculous story from a ridiculous black man who was trying to hit on me and then said a bunch of crazy stuff. And I'm telling you, Brent, you would lose your freaking mind if I just
Oh, I
love
want
you.
to.
I really
I want
did.
to hear it now.
So,
Let it rip.
are you sure?
Yeah, let it go. I mean, yeah, let it. Let's hear it. Yeah, we
Yeah, I
need a
don't
good
know. I don't
laugh.
know. I was really excited about it. I don't want to tell you now. Never mind. I'll have to tell you some other time. But I will say
No,
that
go ahead. Lighten the mood.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know, but
it's
I'm not feeling light right now anymore.
Oh.
So
oh,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm a person that has lots of stories, and if you say you hit the wall, I've definitely hit the wall because I am actually 52. I still look pretty
Listen,
good.
I didn't say that. I said quote unquote. That's what they want to
No,
let
no. I
us
mean,
know.
you know,
Then.
the thing is that all you can do is keep living. And the key to getting older and not having a breakdown and not falling apart at the seams is just to keep living a quality life. And
yeah.
one of the reasons why I wanted to get off and let Sarah speak is because I wasn't insulting her youthfulness. I think it's great that she's in tune with whatever it is, you know, that's going on with her and that she's clear about what's happening in the world, but it will weigh you down. It will drain you. And by the time you're 40, you're going to be a hot mess if you do let people's crap affect you. I mean, when I was young, I was extremely depressed. I mean, I looked great, but I mean, at some point, you just have to let it go. You really do. It's not your problem. You know,
How do
I
you
read
let
this
it
book.
go? How do you let it go?
Well, first of all, you have to. It's a decision at some point that you just have to make. You just have to make a decision and realize that what other people put on you is not something you have to accept. I know that people say things that hurt you, and it's just hard. I mean, it's hard at that age, especially around your 20s, where you're internalizing a lot of stuff. Because I used to internalize things, and then this is crazy, and it's not about divestment, but I read this book, and I think it was a Gloria Steinem book called Revelation from Within, and it has nothing to do with feminism or anything in the sense of like it just happened to be a book I read. But I remember in the book, she was talking about how all of these women were in therapy back in her day because their husband said this was wrong with them or that is wrong with them. And so they're all in therapy. And then one day, you know, she realized that all of these women are in therapy, but there's really nothing wrong with them. They're in therapy because there's something wrong with these men who are telling them there's something wrong with them. So think of it that way when it comes to men saying sexist things to you or saying that, you know, black women need to do this or black women need to do that. I mean, just remember, this is their opinion. You know, a lot of times men will project things and women will internalize things. Like we internalize all this negative stuff that people are pouring into us. But these men are just depressed and moody and upset and frustrated, and they're venting to get their depression out there. You don't have to invite that in. You don't have to accept what these people are putting on you. Okay. I mean, a lot of times, you know, I see all these women listening. Who knows what's going on with some of these folks that are out there talking about they're an alpha man or what have you. I haven't even seen that channel. I've just heard about this guy and he's talking about how he's alpha. I haven't seen him, but my guess is that he's not based on some of the stuff I've heard. And I am not going to accept what crazy is putting out there. You don't have to do that. So now I will tell my story because my story is ridiculous.
Okay,
And
let's hear it. Yeah.
okay, so I am, like I said, 52 years old. When I was young, I used to be a model. I was running all over Europe and doing whatever. And then I finished college and I've worked as an event planner. I've done a lot of different things. I've lived on 4 continents. I mean, to the average person, I've done pretty cool stuff, right? So by no means do I need to really take in a bunch of nonsense from crazy people. Well, anyway, last year at the end of the year, because my business went under because of COVID, I was doing a long-term substitute teacher because I'm certified to teach ESL, so I can work in a school district. And I was working at a urban school district, and there was a man who would sometimes come in and take out some of the students that were having issues, and he was a very nice person, but he wanted to take me out, right? And I am 5 years older than he is. And he doesn't look like much to me, but he was nice and I was always polite. Well, anyway, I got the impression he was always trying to offer the most minimal amount that he possibly could to anybody. And so suddenly it's like maybe he felt like his standards had to come up. So he's like, I'm going to take you to the fanciest restaurant. And I thought, maybe this man thinks I've never been to a fancy restaurant. I still don't want to date him. Right? He really, I mean, it was just very interesting. It's like, I take you to one fancy restaurant and you're mine. Yes. Turns out this guy is still married. He goes, well, I'm separated. And I wasn't going to date him anyway. Don't worry. I never even went out with him ever. But the thing is, so I just said, look, I don't even date married men. That was the easy out. And he's like, well, I'm not married. I'm separated. And I said, would your wife agree that you're married? What are you talking about? So I never really spoke with him. And he started getting a little pissy and angry and irritated. And he would make my age like if he like texted me or called me, which I rarely answered, he'd say, well, you're older than I am. You're older than I am. You're older than I am. And finally I said, do you think that's an insult? Do you think it's an insult that I'm older than you are? I said, because I look better than you do. And he's like, yeah, but you're still older. And I said, so you're letting me know how old I am. So that way I'll feel bad about myself and I'll still want to date a married man. Is that right? And so he got an attitude. Well, anyway, around Christmas time, I did say hi to him because you never know if you're going to meet him at school or you're going to be working with this person. And I said, he asked me what I was doing. And I said, well, I'm also job hunting, while I'm, doing this. And he says, you should go down to, and he names some place that begins with a B. And I said, well, what is that? And he said, oh, it's a strip club. And I said, it makes sense to you that you would tell a 52-year-old woman to go strip. He goes, well, you still have a nice body. And I said, well, why would I go strip?
Oh my goodness.
That is so insulting. It's disrespectful. Why would you even say that? I said, would you tell your daughter that? He goes, I would tell my daughter that if she had her 2 brothers with her. And her daughter, his daughter, by the way, is at least in her 30s, I'm sure, close to 30. And I said, so you would have your sons take your child to go strip somewhere. Well, she doesn't have to, they don't have to go in the room with her. And I said, but the whole point of them going is so that she's protected, right? I said, do you know how ridiculous that sounds? I said, no man who's worth anything would want his daughter on a pole. He's like, well, my daughter got married and she's not on the pole. I said, but you're trying to say that that's okay. He goes, women can make money off of their bodies. Okay. Men can't do that. If I could go and, escort some woman, I would do it because that's where the money is. And I thought all of this stuff is like pouring out of him now. He's not trying to impress me anymore because he couldn't do that. So all I could think of was this man literally thinks it is okay for women to go out and get money from men based on their body simply because men can't do it. And that is why women should bring more to the table. Women should do more. Women should have all that because we can do something that they can't do. Instead of getting an education, getting his bachelor's degree, getting his master's degree, doing whatever he has to do in order to uplift people, he would much rather tell even his child, if need be, to go out there and do that and get the money from some other man rather than being the man to provide it. There is never a time in my life that my father would willingly encourage me to go strip. I'm not saying that there are people who don't have a hard time, who end up doing these things out of necessity. Sometimes desperation brings out the worst in us or the best of us, whatever it is. But the idea that he would tell me to do that, he tried to use my age. He tried to use the fact that I'm a Black woman. Finally, I just let him have it. And he said, you know what, I should run for office. And then I should fix all of Black men's problems so they don't have to do that. And then maybe women should, could be in a position where we'd be provided for by men. But in the meantime, we might as well use our bodies and make money and basically help them pay bills. So what do you think, Brett?
I think that's some toxic stuff. I mean, what kind of man would, their own daughter do that?
Right. He works in a school district. This is my point. He's working in an urban school district.
Weird and like ancestral.
Well, the thing is, whenever someone says something disrespectful about women, I always say, would you want your daughter? Would you want your mother? Would you want your sister? Because that brings it home. And a lot of times it's fine to, go out and, basically try to destroy other people. But when it comes to their own, they say, don't talk about my daughter in that way. But his whole thing was that if that was the case, if he's really being honest, he would do that for his daughter. So that way she can have money. Instead of saying, you know what, I want to do more and protect more. This is a person who's working in a school district. He works with young women. He works with women who have nothing. He works with women who are at the lowest socioeconomic ladder. And this person who on the outside seems like, a decent guy and the whole thing. He doesn't seem like somebody who's evil, but he's certainly someone who's misguided. And if that is the case, and he's even one iota, like some of the men that you were talking about earlier who are saying all this crazy stuff, this is why I'm coming back to Sarah was saying all of this stuff that this person was pouring out is something that didn't affect me at all. If anything, he couldn't keep up with me because I was turning things around and he was getting more upset and frustrated and angry and bitter and, dispirited. I am not going to be that woman who's going to be taking on his toxic stuff. He says, I was just joking about you stripping. Who jokes about somebody stripping? I've had a lot of jokes in my 52 years and never once has anyone joked about me going to go on a pole when I say I'm job hunting with my master's degree. So never, ever let somebody, make you feel horrible about something that they're taking in. Remember, men project and women internalize. And all of these women that are suffering and having all this depression and all of this stuff, a lot of times it just comes from a man who can't do what he thinks he should, or a man who's not willing to put into work to do what he should. I'm not saying that all men are like that. Go ahead.
Sorry. Or a man that's violent.
Well, yeah, but that would cause violence many times. Think about it. If you feel bad about yourself and you're a man, especially as a Black man, if you're like at the bottom of the socioeconomic pole, okay, that's why women are more likely to help a man out who's, African American, because, we know that they have a harder time, but you still have to try. You've got to put in the work. You've still gotta go to school and not talk about like how you don't like to study. One of the first things I usually say to a young person is, what's the last book you read? It's not because I really think they're going to say Harry Potter. It's because I know they're going to say they haven't bothered. And just reading will help your life in many ways. It's something that you have to be socialized to do.
Knowing what their goals are in general.
Right.
Just general goals.
Right.
And why don't you have these?
It opens you up to knowledge. It really does. If you don't read just basic stuff, you're not going to read the newspaper. You're not going to read, the Wall Street Journal. You're not going to read the New York Times. You're not going to read, something about ACTs or SATs. Those are things that you have to know in order to basically make your life better. And so if you're someone who is like a Black male who's not socialized to do a lot of reading, or you're not socialized to do anything really except for watch rap videos and crazy men on the internet, your life is going to be extremely difficult as you age. Their back's going to hurt, their knees going to hurt. A lot of men don't even want to join the military anymore. There are more Black women per capita in the Army than there are men, percentage-wise. That's pathetic.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I just read that probably about a month ago. For the number of people there's more Black women that are joining the military, in Army per se. I don't know if it's a whole military, but the Army, because they need the benefits and all of that. If I was a man and I had nothing, because my father served for 24 years, I would join the military. And if I had to, take that test like you were telling Sarah recently
Yes.
over and over again so I can get some great posting or what have you, I would do it. My dad did it. He served for 24 years. When he retired,
Yeah.
he joined when he was 17 during Vietnam. And then when he got out, he was like in his young 40s. And then he got a government job. So he had a pension. He had
Yes.
another job. I don't know if it's $60,000-$70,000 a year after that. Plus my mom, had a good income. They went from two people. My father was raised in Edgefield, South Carolina. He didn't have diddly squat. My mother was raised in the projects in New York City because her parents were an interracial couple and they couldn't get regular housing. So the projects
Uh-huh.
there weren't necessarily only for people who are poor. It was also for people who they didn't want to rent to you. You couldn't get a
Yeah.
place. So you would end up living like on the Lower East Side or something with, Jewish people who were struggling, or people who maybe had a Chinese father and a black mother who lived upstairs. I mean, my mom grew up with all of those things, but they ended up being relatively successful in life based on the fact that they took advantage of whatever was available to them. And
Yeah.
so when I hear men say crazy stuff to me, I mean, I'm serious. When I was young, I didn't know that people thought this way. And what really saved me was just the idea that, I didn't want to be miserable. So I'm 52. I've never been married and I don't have children. And that in itself is something that would put most people over the top. But as I was talking to a friend of mine that I met in high school, he was telling me that I was one of the people that impressed him the most because I'm not rich. I'm not like super, anything, but I managed to lose every dime I had during the recession because Bear Stearns wasn't too big to fail. And I still had a master's degree, so I could still work. So I went and took a job in Saudi Arabia. And then, I was able to meet new people and have new fun. And then when I came back to the US, I took a job in some small town in Illinois because I was making decent money. And then when that company shut down because it was taken over, I still was able to come back and do something else. It doesn't mean that my life has been easy. It doesn't mean that life is great for me. It just means that because I've always made it so taking care of myself was always a priority. And my priority in my life is not to be miserable because other people don't want to take care of me. It's allowed me the freedom to look good at 52 and be able to know that if I lose every dime I've ever saved in my entire life, that I can still get another job. It doesn't break me. I don't want you, Sarah, to grow up and think that, you're just basically victimized by all of these people. You may have been at some point, but now you know better and you know they're crazy. And just, if you hear a lot of foolishness coming from someone, you just got to let it go. Even if that means you got to let that person go. Just like Suzanne was telling you earlier, right, Suzanne?
Well, it's what I see in work too. Like some guys try to put me down. Like I don't have a voice or something. That's when I go crazy. Like when somebody's trying to steal my voice. That's when I go crazy. Like I know that I have a problem. I'm going to share it with you. Like I just discovered recently in therapy that it's a coping mechanism actually. Some people that are angry, they need to learn how to cope differently. Like so violence can cause this sort of anger. If somebody has, somebody went through violence, like they have this kind of anger. So whenever I feel like I'm about to be oppressed, I can't shut up about it. Like I'm gonna I'm gonna expose you. Like if somebody, so right now the subject is about men and how they're treating women. I'm like, I'm not gonna shut up about this. So I talked about it. And it's just like, it does make me angry. I'm doing my best right now not to focus on that, like not to let depression eat up my whole life, because I know that I'm young and everything. But it's hard when it's somebody in your family who oppressed your own mother, or oppressed like your whole family,
I understand.
wronged, like it's a case, But I appreciate your wisdom, and sharing your wisdom, and I'll try not to internalize, and I'm gonna try to let go. Honestly, sometimes I just need to exercise so I can like not
Mhm.
like not let it get to me, not internalize, because exercise helps with me.
Well,
And you
Sarah,
can do
another
some
thing too is that
kickboxing and
I'm
regular
sorry.
boxing and
Mhm,
grappling and stuff. CrossFit
mhm,
if you need to. Throw some
mhm,
weights around.
mhm. Your weight training
Yeah.
does do great
Hey,
stuff.
hey, let me say something. Hey, Sarah, you're
Yes.
beautiful. Many men would love to date you and love to be a part of your life. So, um, yeah, don't let that stuff get to you. You got your whole life ahead of you. I can see you're real young. Um, and there's
I am.
opportunity. There's good men out there, and you know what? Wait for that good man. Don't let these losers tell you how to feel or you know impact your happiness in life because you know what? You have that special man that's waiting for you. Just do it God's way, vet and pray about it. You got your whole life ahead of you. Your
And
life
venting
is
is good too. I mean, venting means you don't
oh
basically
yeah,
venting
most
is good. You're
definitely.
releasing that. That's good. It is
Yeah.
because otherwise you're one of those people that just loses it at some point. So it is good to vent, but find other ways to vent too. Like this is stupid, but I used to buy myself a tube of lipstick a week when I was about your age. I used to like work when I got my check. I liked lipstick and it was cheap enough that I could afford it and I could feel good and go in and Neiman Marcus or something and buy a $20 lipstick if I was, having a good day or a good week.
Mm.
And I'd go do that. And somehow buying a tube of lipstick from the Clinique counter or something made me feel great. And it was a way to like let off all the toxic energy. I'm not saying you need to become some makeup junkie, but whatever small thing it is, going to a matinee, do whatever, something that is kind of a routine that allows you to feel better. It definitely helps. I'm not kidding you. It really does.
I honestly
Yeah.
And
try. I went to the salon like on the first year.
mhm,
I got a scalp treatment. I try
mhm,
I try to exercise,
mhm.
but it's just I don't know. Maybe I need to pray more. I don't know what it is, but
The
it's
prayer always helps, but like I
it's just
said, I mean, the
hard.
reason why I picked
Pray.
lipstick is because it was cheap.
Sorry. I don't mean to
I'm sorry.
cut you this cut
No,
it.
no, no. Go ahead.
Pray, write it down because
Oh yeah, I'll get
I
it
don't
for you. Hold
know
on.
what you participate in, but
Mhm.
also remember, revenge be to the Lord. If He
Right.
decides to handle His business, that is none of yours. It sounds mean,
Mhm.
truly, because you'll be surprised when
Mhm.
you let it go and you
Mhm.
go back and hear about such and such is doing this and this, and he got divorced and he did this and blah blah blah, and you'd be like, for real, for real,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? There's just so many things that have happened, and you're like, now what would have happened if I sat there and cussed out both of us, cussed out such and such, you know what I mean, in front of everybody? It would have been bad for me and for that person. But you know what? Just let it alone, and
Mhm.
stuff starts. You
Yeah,
find out later
journaling,
on
writing
down the
stuff
road.
down helps. Just like Suzanne
Yeah.
said, writing stuff down, it really does. I used to journal all the time, everything that stressed me out. And as soon as I put it on paper and closed it up, I felt better. I really did.
I journal.
Good. Good, good, good. I mean, I just think that
It's not something that you
this
can take away though.
what'd you say?
Honestly, I feel better when I talk to you guys. I mean, it's not something that it's gonna go away. Like when you let go, it just comes back to me. Like it's like a
Right.
monster. I
Mm-hmm.
exercise, I journal, but then
Mm-hmm.
it just I don't know what it is, but it's just like this thing that hovers around me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to like think positive and like even if there's a guy in front of me that seems healthy and seems that's not crazy,
Right.
Brent, like he looks like
Yeah.
he's a good guy, I still cannot get out of that. I can't shake that feeling that like I always have this doubt like at 1 second he's gonna turn around and turn into this beast.
Well, you should have that doubt. You should always assume that's the
Oh
case.
yeah. You know what?
Like
Always
I
be
can't
on
deal
your
with it.
You
yeah.
always got to be on your guard.
Always be alert. And you know what? Um, like I said, there's good men and bad men. and you got to
Mhm.
always be on your guard because, especially in today's world, I mean, you
Mhm.
got to vet men,
Mhm.
vet.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, and that's not a bad thing because you
Mhm.
know what? It's better you do it when you're young and actually try to figure out what these guys are about
Mhm.
rather than later on in life in your 30s and 40s
Mhm.
after you've been divorced a couple times. It's like, oh my God,
Right.
it's
Well, also
better.
too, you don't want these men to drag you either. It's like when I
Yeah.
was young, I didn't know that. So now you do know that. Just like the guy at the school district, he's not a bad man per se. He's certainly a misguided one. And in his mind, that's justified everything he said because black men are at the bottom of the food chain as far as he's concerned. Yeah, maybe that's the case, but it doesn't mean that, the answer is to maybe like tell women they should do all kinds of ridiculous things. So do I think he's bad? No. But I do think he's certainly not a man that, at least in my opinion, any woman should be dating or
Well,
married to.
hey, can I say something about that being on at the bottom of the food chain?
That's how
I
he
know.
he described it himself, not me.
No, I get it, but if a man feels that way,
Hmm.
don't embrace that bottom of the food chain.
Right.
Compete, show that you're better than the bottom of the food chain.
Right.
And here's the thing. Sometimes now I'm not going to say that everybody's equal and gets a fair shot.
Hmm.
In life it's unrealistic. Some people have it easier than others.
Hmm.
Some people, get more opportunities than others, and I'm not saying it's racial or whatever. But the thing of it is you can't stop fighting. Even if you don't have the opportunities that other men beside you do, you got to keep fighting. Because you know what?
Hmm.
At the end of the day, whether you're successful or a failure, the excuse ain't going to carry you. You
Well, that's
still
true,
got
and
to
that's
fight.
why I used my
Yeah,
father as an example because he grew up. I mean, he joined the military during Vietnam. Who does that? It's
yeah,
desperation. Like I said, desperation sometimes brings out the best or the worst in you. He had to do that.
yeah.
He had to go to Korea. He had to do whatever. And once he discovered he had skills, he spent 24 years in the military.
You know
Now,
what? Hey, can I
it,
say
it
something
helped him.
real quick? Speaking of the military, my
Mhm.
father-in-law, my wife's father, he
Mhm.
joined the military right before Vietnam, and
Mhm.
he came from Mississippi. They didn't have much money, and he retired out of the army, and he was real successful later on in life. Got a government job, made good money, and,
My
and
dad too.
yeah, and my wife lived in a better neighborhood than I did because
Right.
her family was so successful because of her father that took advantage of the opportunity
Right.
of the army. Yeah,
Mhm.
he went to Vietnam. He did 2 tours.
Mhm.
Um, but they had a good life. My wife grew up, you know, all her needs and everything she wanted was taken care of.
Yeah,
Um,
I had braces through the military back in the day. I mean, I
oh,
I wouldn't have had them otherwise.
yeah, and let me tell you about my life. Did you know when I joined the military? I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos. When I came in the army, I only had a sixth grade reading level.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I was going nowhere fast.
Mhm.
And the thing of it is the army, they work with me with my reading. I ended up going to college. I ended up getting a degree.
Mhm.
And, the job I got after the army, I'm making probably 3 times the amount of money I did when I was in the army. So,
Correct.
you know what? You can use that to build you.
Mhm.
And I tell people when you join the military, I said it's what you put into it. Because I've seen people that have joined it and end up things don't go right, it don't
Mhm.
work. But I've
Mhm.
seen people actually build on their life, actually
Right.
make good things happen. Like my father-in-law, and it's funny because I'm doing almost the same thing my father-in-law's done.
Mhm.
And
I just think that I'm not trying to get people to join the military, but my point is
yeah,
that you've got to use the tools that are available to you, and they may
yes,
not
yes,
be your dream job. It may not be something like I didn't want to live in Saudi Arabia as a single woman where I had to wear an abaya and I had to have a driver, and I got sick of listening to my driver speaking Urdu on his cell phone or whatever that language is, and when I would
Yeah.
be trying to do what my job or what have you. But it was something that after the fact, it was an interesting experience. I have some cool stories. I met some very, really fun women, because you have to be adventurous to do something like that if you're female. And I mean, I took advantage of what was there. I think there's a lot of people that if something is not ideal, they don't want to do it. They
Yes.
don't want to do it. And so
You're correct.
it's just the way it is. It's like, if like, I don't, hey, you want to take this job? No, I don't want to do that job, or I don't want to do that job. Sometimes you just have to do what you've got to do. And I feel like men in general, from my perspective, it seems like they work well with consequences. If you don't give a man a certain amount of consequences, then they're not likely to flourish. And I feel right now a lot of these guys don't have any.
You know what? I think you hit on something, because here's the thing. My father was successful,
Mm-hmm.
but he was a teenage father, and
Mm-hmm.
he slept with my mother.
Mm-hmm.
They got caught up in that temptation as teenagers, and I was a product of it. But my father actually took care of me my whole life. He actually did what he's supposed to do. But I mean, he was dragged through the mud. It was tough times. I know the neighborhood we lived in was a rough neighborhood. I know when I was little, we didn't have the things that my younger brother has. Um, but my father made it happen. And, he was slapped in the face of the decision he made. But, and I think my grandfather was instrumental, because he wouldn't allow my father to be a failure. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that, but here's the thing, he was thrown that at him. He had to make it happen, he had no choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at my life, and I tell people about my story. And you know what? There were times I had my back at the wall, and it wasn't like well, it was kind of like my father, my choices. I did stupid things when I was young, and I didn't learn like I should. But at that point, I had no choice. And I was married when I joined the army, so I had to make things happen for
Right.
me and my wife. And you know what? I think if I had it easy and maybe I was successful, maybe I wouldn't be as successful as I am today and later on in life.
You
And
might not be.
sometimes as men, we have to have that gut punch. We have
Mm-hmm.
to have that kick in the butt. We have to be knocked to the ground and be shown that we're a nothing to
Mm-hmm.
actually pull ourselves up. I
Right.
believe that.
Well, I do. And I think men and women are very different. And I think that
Yeah.
consequences are something men respond to. And
Yeah.
so when people, like for example, if you have a student who doesn't want to study and he doesn't want to turn his work in, and I had a student that wouldn't even sit in a seat. He wanted to lay on the floor in his pajama bottoms and play video games on his phone. And he was failing because he turned in literally nothing. I had nothing to grade.
Oh,
And I
wow.
remember another teacher came to me, another Black teacher, and said, you know what? A lot of times, they just have a harder time. We need to, be a little more flexible with them. And I just told her, I said, look, I can't do anything with nothing. He has to do something. This is a young man who won't even be bothered to sit in a seat. And she said, well, he's a bigger guy. He was very tall and kind of large. And I said, but he's going to have to sit in a seat at work. He's going to have to sit in a
Yeah.
seat on the airplane. I mean, it's like at some point consequences, they really do help men. They really do. I think even Steve Harvey says that, men respond well to consequences. And if you don't have consequences, then you're just, it's failure for a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And I think a lot of times where Black women are successful because they have no choice. And sometimes
Right.
we get consequences, we have no choice but to do good.
Right.
Failure is not when failure is not an option, that's when
Mhm.
you're at your best.
Well, I've had plenty of failure. I mean, but I think what
No,
helped
yeah.
me was that I just didn't rely on one thing. Like I knew that if I saved money, I could lose money. I remember having money in my bank account and they called me and said, you have too much in your bank account. It's not going to be insured. So you need to move it. And so I don't know anything about that. I'm not an accountant. So I moved it to a place I could. and it went under. And I remember President Obama was in office at the time, and I was very upset that Goldman Sachs and all of these rich people were protected, but people like, Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, they weren't. Those are the normal people, like, doctors, lawyers, people who are waitresses and just like to save lots of money. But I knew that it wasn't the end of things. It wasn't like I was a one-trick pony in that way. I knew that at least I can work. It didn't mean I liked it. It didn't mean I wasn't heartbroken. It didn't mean that, I was okay with it, but I wasn't destroyed, because I knew I could do other things. And that's why I always say, like, if you have nothing, maybe join the military and get some skills. I was listening to Sarah the other day, and Sarah said, she wanted to do a language. I remember living out in California, and I went on a date with a guy who worked I went to the Monterey school or whatever out there, where the language school. And he was a black guy learning Arabic over there. I don't know if they still have it. I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, this is a kid who grew up in inner city DC. So I see you have other people coming on, so I'm going to get off so they can talk. But
okay,
I just wanted you guys to, know about my crazy story. And if you want to, talk more about it, because I really don't know where that came from.
Hey, I love your story, but you know what? It speaks truth. It speaks facts. Us as men and even women, sometimes we got to have our backs against the wall where
right.
Failure's not an option. That's when we're at our best. And I think that's why black women are thriving, because they don't have a choice. And I've studied history, and I've studied like black communities before the civil rights era, where they were actually doing better than white communities. And I found that, and I was like, wow, they had no more resources, but you know what? Their backs were against the wall. They had no choice but to be successful. I think us as humans, a lot of times, failure don't need to be an option. We can't blame anybody for, even if, even though, even if society, deals us a bad hand, even though if we're at a disadvantage, failure cannot be an option. I think that's part of the success. If failure is not an option, you're going to be at your best, because you have no choice. I believe that. And you know what? And if you study history, people that have had their backs against the wall, that's when they're at their best. Not when things are going good, not when they're prosperous, but when actually they have no choice but to succeed, that's when they're at their best. Um, anyway, yeah, but I believe that. But anyway, hey, Revelation Ruth, good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brent.
Hey, good to see you.
Oh, so many thoughts.
Hey, yeah.
For one, I liked the woman's story, the lady's story who just got off, because it's it's a representation of kind of where some men are headed, with this kind of campaign to hate women, and and bring them down so that they can benefit from us, everything we have to offer, right? Our successes, our bodies, everything we have to offer, right? But we cannot let that happen, as she said. And sometimes it takes a while for women to build their confidence, to build their kind of work their spiritual muscle, because it's not only mental, it's also spiritual.
Yeah.
And a lot of us didn't have great fathers, even if they were there. So
yeah,
we can say, oh, it's fatherlessness, or we could say, why did the men turn out like this? Why did a lot of black men turn out like this? Well, we know it's not all, but we know that the lack of consequences comes from not having a father in particular, enforce those consequences. I mean, how many of us had, including, some white folks, in some ethnicity, some cultures of white people, how many of us heard mothers say, wait till your father comes home, right?
Yeah.
That was the person that was the authority in the house, even if it was only the mother, working at a certain point. Even it didn't matter what other dynamics were set up. If the father wasn't at home at all, and even if he wasn't, I'm going to tell your father. I'm going to tell your father. So, they do lack consequences right now, but I know that, it's difficult for me hearing this, because I feel like I see differently. I see with different eyes. And I do believe this is very spiritual. And so, I would say to all women, recognize and understand that, of course, this is not all men, but it looks like the majority, because we hear it a lot on YouTube. We see it in everyday life, and, I would also caution us not to, make white men kind of the savior either, because that's how you can come across the wrong man, because it's really about his morals, his character, and who he is, not really his skin color.
Yeah.
I've met, honestly, more white men who have been more helpful to me in everyday life than black men, right? But it doesn't make me favor white men over black men or vice versa. I just know that I'm waiting on God's best, period. And so I've gotten over the color thing, and wanting to be with a certain group over the other. That's not important anymore. That's not important when you get to know yourself and who the creator made you to be, right? And I would say to Sarah that I echo everything, everyone else was saying to you about, therapy, treating yourself nice once in a while, going out, doing this and that. But I know that the bottom line is, sometimes when you're around people, and this goes for everybody, so I don't want to put any focus on Sarah, any more focus than she's already had, right? Sarah's probably tired of it all. But I think that when we can really have better relationship with God, and I know I'm saying it because I know it's true. I'm not taking into consideration that there are people on here that's probably listening that don't believe, but it's just the truth. When you start coming into your own, knowing yourself, asking God actively, who am I? Show me who I am. Teach me about you. All of those things kind of fall by the wayside, right? And I do think you should pray more. People say it like praying is an afterthought. Well, I guess I'll just pray. Oh, I guess I don't have anything left to do but to pray. I'm here to tell you that prayer has been the only thing that has brought me through a lot of difficult moments that you cannot imagine in life, that you cannot imagine that I've been through. So, I've done therapy. It didn't make me, hitting something over and over again, throwing things at a wall, the practices, the activities she had me do did not get that anger out that I used to have when I was younger. What helped me was praying unto the Lord when I finally found out who he was. What helped me was fasting and deliverance. That's what helped me. And I know some people don't believe in that, but when you talked about how it feels like it's hovering over you, like it just comes up over and over again, those are things that we call demonic replays, because the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, right? He wants to take away your joy and take away life. And God comes so that you'll have it more abundantly. And so he wants you to have an abundant life. And the devil wouldn't want nothing more than for you to hate, come out hating men. And I'm not saying that you do now, but I think that's the goal with all of us coming across like the manosphere and all of these things going viral. Even if you weren't trying to look at it, it's kind of shoved down your throat on Instagram. It's going viral. So I think that's the aim, and those are the things that we have to kind of shield ourselves against by listening to more positive things, listening to the word, speaking with positive people like on this channel, because then you get a view that, okay, maybe not every man sucks, and if you've been out there long enough, you'll know not every white man is great either. So, but they are pretty nice. So, that's all I had to say for at the moment. He was just a man. Yeah, that man was angry because she didn't play into what he wanted. And let's just say a lot of men are like that when they don't know how to emotionally regulate, how to regulate their emotions. Right?
But it's like they have a book or a manual out there, stuff to say when you get rejected. You know what I mean? Some guys just take the L and walk away. But there's like those guys that are like, well, that's why it's your age.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
it's your
age.
Oh, well, that's why you're ugly. You're ugly. And you're like, excuse me, sir, you were just trying to holler at me. Or this is why you're never gonna do. Excuse me, sir, you're not good enough for me. Let's reiterate that fact.
And they know that. And they know that they're not good enough for you. That's why, what it is overall? It's a spirit of rejection. It's a spirit of rejection. And when it's kind of projected onto you, then you also sometimes feel rejected. It's exactly what Sarah was describing, is really the spirit of rejection. And there's no reason why any parent should tell their child that. A lot of us were oops babies, but your parent usually doesn't come out and tell you, you know what I mean? Like, like unless it's a different kind of, it's a conversation shielded with like, I'm so happy that I had you though. You know what I'm saying? No, so I look at it as a spirit in that person trying to bring me down, trying to take away my joy. And they do have a script because it's popularized now. These women are old. These women are going to be out there for the winter. No, actually, statistics show differently. And who do you see homeless the most? It's actually men that be on the streets because of their ego, right? The women will go to shelters, and some men do too. But, if you ever volunteered at a homeless shelter anywhere in any state, the amount of stories that you hear are so vast. And usually they'll say, well, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do it. It's something about their ego came into place. And I'm telling you, it really represents all these angry men and even angry women. I'm going to tell you, it represents their separation from God. It represents your separation, the degree to which you're separated from God. Because a man who cannot submit to God will never submit to you. He won't know how to be faithful to you or himself. He won't want to get himself a job. He doesn't think highly of himself in that way, right? Unless the world has pumped him up of confidence, unless he's taking his pointers from the Grant Cardones and, like listening to people that maybe are worldly, maybe they're not Christian, but they're very positive thinking, right? That's what the world has replaced with God, with knowing God. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with being positive thinking. You need that too, but you need to know like why you're here. What's your purpose? Who are you?
But it's also verbatim what God has to say. I'm sorry, I'm going to say
no,
it is verbatim in the Bible what some of these people are saying. You're like, that's it's in the word. What y'all are
like
saying.
What?
I mean,
You mean they're insults?
no. What I'm saying is all these. This is what I was speaking on with the dating apps and stuff. You go across profiles. My mother was talking about this. Like, how are you having no luck? Because probably 80% of them, they have no spiritual set. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they're looking for. They have no hobbies. But the biggest thing is that spiritual set, because you're basing, a value system off of it. If you're working off of just a regular baseline Judeo-Christian mindset, right? You're going to know to some extent what's right, what's wrong, how a man should operate, being a provider. This is all the stuff that they're getting off of these quite a bit of the positive ones. I mean, not the toxic red pill guys, of course, but all the positive guys that are out there. I think I just watched I forgot the guy's name, but he was talking about fasting to to how it gives you youth and makes you clear and all this stuff.
It's
But it's like,
making a
well, that's in
comeback,
the
isn't
word.
it?
You know what I mean? That's your
Yeah.
huh?
It's
That's
making a
nothing
big
new.
comeback, isn't it? Yeah, it's everywhere.
Fasting is making a comeback. Like making these brotherhoods and community-based worship, you know what I mean? Not even I don't know how to explain it. Like focusing more inwards in your community. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because they're seeing that when they get in those groups, right? I'm in business, and I know that in business they do feel like success is also rooted in some degree of spirituality. So this is across any ethnic group in business. Once you get even on the ground floor and you get a little bit higher, you start getting in little groups of business people, whether it doesn't matter what it is, real estate, anything. Okay. It could be an MLM. They're always gonna like kind of ingrain a little bit of spirituality in it. It's from the old greats like Jim Ron and stuff like that. Some of them were Christian, and they kind of intertwined the word, but somewhere along the lines it did get perverted, right? And there's also like Christian riches in business and weird things now. So a lot of people know the word is what I'm trying to say to you. Like, I've been on a dating app, even though I know God didn't want me on there, but I've talked to guys who are Christian and still didn't like them. You know what I mean? Because the bottom line is what is in your heart. When a Christian man follows the world, he's still more like the world than he is Christian. If his first conversation, which by the way happened to me a couple of times, is, oh, what do you do? Oh, that means you have a lot of money. If I say I have a business and a part-time job, or I work 2 part-time jobs in a business, oh, that means you're rich and da da da. And then the first thing you do is compare yourself to me. That tells me that you have low self-esteem, and I'm probably not going to want to deal with that, right? So you kind of have to know who you are. And then it's hard to cut those guys off because they're like, oh, she has something that I need. They're looking at resources. That's why a lot of men want to shack up during the wintertime, not just because they're physically cold. They're like, I need resources. And they just go hook up with some other woman who's okay and willing to keep them in their house for that season. Then they get broken up with after winter is done around February, March. And then they wonder, like, what happened? No, you were just the next person that he was like, I'm going to stay at your house and I'm going to sleep with you. Women should not be sleeping. This is why the Bible talks about that, about soul ties and all this stuff. You should not be doing those. Listen, I have. So, I'm not trying to be Brent, I'm sorry, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I think we kind of drifted a little bit from the topic tonight, and we kind of went over to other things.
I didn't know what the topic was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just gotten talking, and that's fine and everything. Um, yeah, we've been on for 2 hours and 39 minutes, so I might have to close this down soon. I got to go to work in the morning and stuff, and but it was great having you guys on. The panel was awesome. Revelation Roof, good to see you. Sarah, always good to see you. Miss, how did I say it? Shazam? Is that
Suzanne,
right?
yeah.
Shazam, okay. Hey, it's good to have you guys on. Um, but anyway, my topic tonight, it kind of got away from it, was open up your options, the best option for dating and marriage, and you know, putting out the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, not just half truths to fit a narrative. And I enjoy you ladies coming on talking, and this was a good show tonight. We kind of just got away with it, away from the topic tonight, and but it was a good show. I love having you guys on. Sarah, it's always great to have you on.
I apologize if I
No,
apologize.
no apologies. Everything's good. Um,
Yeah. next time.
we just started getting into other things, and I just like I love hearing you guys talk, and I try to learn what I can, but we kind of got a little bit off topic on the show. But you know,
Mhm.
it was a good topic, one that needed to be addressed, and a lot of times, things are being said, some half truths or some untruths, and a lot of times we don't stand up to it. A lot of times we just let people say them, and we know they're wrong, but we just let it go. This was one night I really felt I had to go in. I felt I had to hit up the topic because the stuff I'm seeing out there on YouTube, it's stuff I'm seeing on social media. It's some falsehoods, it's some lies, and you know, you can have an opinion on anything, but put the truth out there, or at least have, if you can put the whole truth out there and make your decision, that's great. But a lot of times we don't. A lot of times we pick the narrative that fit, we pick the truth that fits our narrative, but we don't search the whole truth. And that's originally what I wanted to do tonight. I know people came on and had a lot of good things to say, and they're good, but I think we kind of got away from my thing tonight, and I just wanted to go in on some people, and I'm not putting people's names out there, but a lot of distortion, a lot of half truths, a lot of untruth, and a lot of generalizations, and I hate seeing that stuff, and that stuff drives me crazy. And
You're not on your own on that.
yeah, yeah, and that was my original thing tonight, and I think we kind of got away from it. But everybody had good topics, everybody had positive things, and I love it so much. Um, but I just wanted to go in tonight. I just wanted to hammer it home, and I did for a while till we got off topic and it kind of drifted. But it's all good. No worries. I mean, it was a good thing tonight. It was a good show, and I,
Have
I
Corey, have Corey come on. Corey or
oh yeah,
someone.
oh yeah. I always love having Corey on. Corey's awesome, you know. But I had a good time tonight. All you ladies did good. All you ladies had some good topics, and this was a amazing fun show tonight, and I enjoyed it. And it was really good. And Sarah, you got your life ahead of you. You're a beautiful young lady, and any man that would put his hand out to you, he better live up to what he needs to.
Yes, or
And
else
don't,
you'll beat him up, right? Yo, beat him up
That's
for me.
I'll get him in the chokehold. I'll get
Yes.
it. Yeah, I'll choke him out for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but seriously, don't let no man BS you. Don't let no one, no man out there. And I'm not just speaking to Sarah. I'm speaking to all you ladies. Don't let no man manipulate you and tell you that you have to lower your standards or have to be a certain way, because you know what? You do it God's way, and the man should love you for who you are. Point blank. Not what you bring to the table, but the heart you have and the love you have. And if he has love for you, he's not looking what you're going to bring. He's looking at you bringing yourself, bringing your love, your loyalty, and your beauty. That's what a true man looks for. Um, but keep that in mind, guys. And
Thank you.
vet, and make that man earn his place in your heart. Don't just give it to him, make him earn it. Because ladies, you are the prize, and us as men, we're the providers. You got the prize and the providers, okay? You know what? Us as providers, we want that prize. We want that woman that loves us. We want that wife that's a good wife, that compliments us, but we got to earn it. We got to put in the work, guys. We can't just have it handed to us. And us as men, we need to stand up, earn our way, put in the work, and love and respect the women that's around us, that God's provided for us. And until we do that, we won't be blessed as a neighbor, as a community. We won't be blessed as a city or a town or a nation, till us as men do it right. And I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. It's truth, because God will judge us as men how we treat our wives and our children. Point blank. And the woman you lay with, biblically, that's your wife. Just keep that in mind, young man. Keep it in your mind, because how we treat women and children is how God is going to hold us accountable. I'm just saying. But anyway, I could talk all night about that. Yeah. But Sarah, hey, keep your guard up, vet these men, and you're a beautiful woman, and a young man would be lucky to have you in his life, and choose wisely. Do it God's way, pray about it, and always keep your guard up, okay? And you know what? You're the prize, not the man that comes trying to talk to you.
Just pray for me that I live, that I survive, that I live until
Oh, yeah. You're going to live, you're going to survive, you're going to be prosperous, and you're going to have a good life. And I'm going to pray for you every day, Sarah.
Thank you so much. I pray for you all too.
And I got a lot of love for you, Sarah, even though we haven't met face to face, but I love you, and I'm going to pray for you. And people on this channel love and are going to pray for you too. So keep your head up. You're special. You're beautiful. You got a lot going for you. Okay? So don't just know that. You're the prize. Okay? Keep that in mind. And you are. I'm not just saying that. Okay? But, this has been a good show, guys. And, like I said, keep your head up, Sarah. And a lot of people commenting say how beautiful and how smart you are. So if they see it, everybody sees it. So just want to let you know that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. And big love to you. And big prayers for you. So when you're in dating and relationships, keep your guard up. Vet that person and do it God's way, and you'll be blessed. You will. But anyway, this has been an awesome show. I had a good time tonight. Everybody that came on, Sarah, I had a good time talking to you. Jet, Revelation Ruth, uh,
Suzanne.
Shazam. Yeah, I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but it was good talking to you too. It was good talking to you all, you guys. We had a good show. We had a good discussion. That's what's important. And ladies, um, just know you're precious. Know you're special. Ladies, um, you know, and when you get married, you're like a crown to your husband. You're special. And ladies, don't open yourself up to men till you're married because you are sacred. Your bodies are sacred. Just keep that in mind. Um, you know, I could go on and on, but anyway, this was a nice show. I had a good time, and I hope everybody got something out of what I was trying to say. And open up your options, but be cautious. Okay. Uh, you know, go for the where you're go for the men that love you, that celebrate you. And I'm not saying what race is going to do that. I don't know, but go where you're loved and celebrated. That's all I might say. Um. Anyway, but I'm gonna go ahead and close this out.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll
Sarah,
leave
good. Okay, good talking to you. You doing
it.
okay?
Yeah, I'm
You're
doing good.
Yeah, you're a beautiful young lady. You got your life ahead of you,
Yeah.
young lady. And you know what? You're special. You're precious, and the Lord loves you. And you know what? Make sure that man comes forward to you with the right way. Okay?
God willing.
Yeah. But
All right, guys. I love you. I love you, Brent, as well, and I pray for you and your wife,
oh,
Sandy.
thank you. I
Uh,
appreciate that. We
happiness
love
and
you too.
success in this world and the hereafter for everyone. I always wish that for everyone and pray that for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God will provide for us. He will.
Yes.
But big love and big prayers for you, Sarah.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Y'all have a wonderful evening and year.
Oh yeah, we will. And
Okay.
you too, Sarah. Good talking to you again.
Thank you
It's
so much.
always a blessing.
Thank you
Thank you
all
very
so much.
much.
Okay. Good night.
All
Bye.
right. Good night. God bless.
God bless. Bye.
All right. Bye. Okay. So uh tonight's show, it kind of went longer than I thought, and it kind of went off topic. But we got a lot of good information, a lot of good content. Ladies, you're special. Ladies, you are a blessing. Ladies, you know, when God provided women for men, He provided a blessing to us as men. And when God took Adam's rib and made Eve, He provided a blessing to Adam. And ladies, you are a blessing to us as men. You are. And those men that don't look at you as a blessing, that don't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. They don't. Um, ladies, you're beautiful. Um, and you know what? Don't settle for the man that don't love you with all his heart. Don't settle for the man that just barely gets by, that really don't care. Go for the man that loves you with all his heart. And it might not be a rich man. It might be the average guy that just works hard, but he loves you with all his heart. It could be a millionaire too that loves you with all his heart. Yeah, that could happen too. Um, but the thing of it is, ladies, accept that man that loves you with all his heart. Accept that man that puts you above himself. That because that's what you deserve, ladies. Ladies, you deserve a man that's going to love you with all his heart, a man that's going to love the children
above himself with all his heart, just like he loves you. And that you don't deserve anything less than that, ladies. And I'm sorry that men are weak these days, but ladies, you are special. Ladies, you are a blessing from God. Ladies, you are the treasure. Ladies, you complement the man you're with. So make sure you're with a good man. Make sure you're with a man that loves you, respects you, and treats you like a lady, treats you like the queen that you are, you know? And, anything less is unacceptable. I'm just going to say it. But, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, guys. This was a fun show. This was a good show. Things needed to be said, and I'm probably going to rant more about this coming on. And I'm probably going to make a video after this. I don't know. I'll see what I think. Um, but ladies, you're special. You're precious. You're beautiful. Black women, you're leading the way. What can I say? Stats prove it. You're the most educated. Some will say you're the most enrolled, but you have to be the most enrolled to have the most degrees, right? We can put that to bed right there. Okay. When it comes to businesses, who's the leading group creating businesses? Black women. They can't argue that. Goldman Sachs invested $1 billion in you awesome ladies. So that just shows your success. Okay. When it comes to interracial marriages, with black women most successful. That says a lot about you, ladies. So you're leading the way in so many areas, it's not even funny. Black women, you're a true treasure. Black women, you're beautiful. Black women, you're a blessing. And you know what? Black women, I love you with all my heart. Black women, you are my preference. Black women, I married you. I have a black woman as a wife. So, and I can proudly say that. And I can say that with the utmost love in my heart. And you know why? Because you're special, because you're beautiful, because you're such a blessing, because you're worth more than any treasure on earth. And anyway, I'm just going to say it. But black women, you are first class. Black women, you're the best choice, hands down. And I say that with all my heart and all my love. And you know what? Keep your head up and don't ever settle for anything less than what you deserve. Period. End of story. Um, but anyway, guys, I love you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that watch me, big love to you guys. And, join me again on my next live stream. My next live stream probably won't be till late Saturday night. But it'll be a late one Saturday night, but I'm gonna go live Saturday night. And I'll see you guys then. You probably catch a video in between, but anyway, God bless you and your families. And thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for everything, guys. God bless you. I have big love for you. And I'll see you in the next video. God bless you and your families. Good night.